Good evening and welcome. I call to order the Lake Havasu City Council meeting on Tuesday, January 27th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. We'll have our invocation from Pastor Kay Zimmerman from City on a Hill International Church, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Carol Arcilla and Rita Purser with the Havasu Stitchers Quilt Guild. Good evening.
Good evening. Father God, we just thank you. We thank you that you're our God. We thank you that you watch over this city. We thank you that you have great plans for this city. And we thank you, Father God, that each one of us has a part. And I pray, Father God, a spirit of unity in this city that will support one another, God. Pray for one another and work together for your plan and your purpose for your glory, Lord. And I thank you for it. I thank you for our mayor and the council, each one leading the city, our fire chief, police chief. I thank you, God. And we're just going to decree tonight, as you told us to decree over the city. I decree over the city of Lake Havasu City that this city shall be a city of righteousness that honors God in all her ways, a city of hope to all her people and all those who come here. A city of light where darkness finds no room to hide. A city of love that prospers in all her ways, providing prosperity and goodwill to all her people as well as those surrounding her. And a city of peace to all who dwell here. In the mighty name of Jesus Christ, amen. Amen. Yeah.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. Hello. Thank you for letting us come and speak before the council today. I'm Carol Arcilla. This is Rita Purser. We're with the Havasu Stitchers Quilt Guild here in Lake Havasu. We have about 182 members. But the exciting thing is, which is coming up, not this weekend, next weekend, February 5th through the 7th, we are having our biannual, which is every 2 years, not every twice a year. But every 2 years, we have a huge quilt show with about 150 quilts. It starts Thursday at noon. The mayor is going to be there. He's going to pick his favorite quilt, which he usually does, and do a proclamation for us, which we really appreciate. Thank you so much for supporting us. And there will be several ribbons. We did have a display of our underwater challenge over at City Hall. I don't know how many people were able to see it, but that was really out of the box thinking for quilting, and very spectacular. Our quilters did a great job. That will also be at our quilt show. So please come and join us Thursday, noon to 4 on February 5th, the 6th and 7th, Friday and Saturday. It is 9 to 4, and we have 2 great food trucks, True Eats and Have a Hog. So thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. And the talent that your members have is quite amazing. So I encourage everyone to go check out all of the great works that you do. Thank you again for being here this evening.
Thank you.
Show. Thank you.
Yes. All right, we'll move on to item 4, which is the roll call. Ms. Williams, if you please call the roll.
Council members Nancy Campbell.
Here.
Jenny Koch. Here. Jim Dolan.
Here.
Cameron Moses.
Here.
Michelle Lynn.
Here.
Vice Mayor David Diaz.
Here.
Mayor Cal Sheehy.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 5 is the consent agenda. Would any of the council members like to remove any of the items for separate discussion?
Mayor,
Councilmember Koch,
motion?
please.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Koch, a second from Councilmember Moses. Is there any additional discussion? We're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Item 6 is correspondence, communications, petitions, announcements, and the city manager report. We'll start with item 6.1, which is to announce vacancies on Lake Havasu City boards, committees, and commissions. Ms. Williams?
Mayor and City Council, this item is to announce vacancies on Lake Havasu City boards, committees, and commissions. The city currently has one alternate member vacancy on the Board of Adjustment. Anyone interested can pick up a packet at City Hall, and they are also available on the city's website at www.lhcaz.gov. Thank you.
Thank you. Item 6.2 is the city manager's report. Good evening, Mr. Knudsen.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Hope everyone is enjoying the wonderful weather that we're having, especially when you look at what's happening across the country and other states. First off, I'd like to recognize Linda Wooters on her retirement after more than 24 years of dedicated service to Lake Havasu City. Linda began her career in our streets division in 2001 and advanced to maintenance specialist through her hard work and commitment to the community. We're very, very grateful for her many years of service and wish her all the best in her well-earned retirement. Congratulations, Linda. I'd like to recognize and congratulate two of our newest fire department promotees, Captain David Mraz and Engineer Lonnie Pope. Congratulations. Their experience, dedication, and commitment to service are a true asset to our organization, and these promotions are well-deserved. We appreciate all they do for our department and our community, and congratulate them both on this achievement. Mayor Sheehy, you and Vice Mayor David Diaz attended the police department swearing-in ceremony on January 15th, where we had 4 new officers take their oath of office. Brooklyn Ramirez, Daniel Wells, Joseph Sayes, and Joshua Hunter. We congratulate all these 4 officers as they begin their service to our community and thank them for their commitment to protecting and serving Lake Havasu City. Welcome to the team. This is a fun one. I'd like to congratulate the first graduating class of the Lake Havasu Young Marines program. We had 4 graduates who received certificates of recognition from you, Mayor Sheehy. They include Private Jackson Medina Coons, Private Joshua Hughes, Private First Class Damian Hughes, and Private Delilah Hughes. This milestone reflects their dedication, discipline, and commitment to personal growth. And we are very, very proud of these young leaders, and very grateful to the mentors and volunteers who help make this program possible. On January 15th, Mojave Community College hosted a kid-friendly Arizona Town Hall attended by Mayor Sheehy, Vice Mayor David Diaz, our grants manager, Vijay Sari, and also Lake Havasu City Chamber of Commerce CEO Andrea Hellert, and Dean of Students Jenna Lauder from Mojave College. Along with the students from Starline Elementary School, participants took part in engaging age-appropriate discussions focused on workforce development and career opportunities. It is inspiring to see how thoughtful, confident, and motivated these amazing future leaders already are. I'd like to highlight our upcoming Doing Business with the City Lunch and Learn taking place on February 11th from 11:30 to 1 p.m. and it'll take place right here in the council chambers. This event is designed to help local businesses better understand our contracting, procurement, and bidding processes while promoting transparency and accessibility. And we encourage anyone that's interested in attending to RSVP on our website by January 31st and take advantage of this opportunity to learn more about partnering and doing business with Lake Havasu City. I'm told we're up to almost 70 people that have already RSVP'd for this event. So it's a wonderful, wonderful. Yes, we might have to do it a couple more times. Registration is now open for the second Havasu Residence Academy, which is an 8-week program running from March 5th through April 23rd. The Academy provides residents with a behind-the-scenes look at city operations, leadership, and services while encouraging civic engagement and community connection. Space is very, very limited, and applications are available online for those interested in learning more about how their local government works. And last time we filled up the class in less than a week. So if you are interested, now is the time to take a look at that. A couple reminders and some updates for the council and for the public. The Site 6 fishing dock is now officially open to the public. So if you haven't been down there lately, go check it out. What a wonderful asset to this community. McCulloch Boulevard will be closed from Acoma to Smoke Tree for Winterfest Street Festival. That'll start on January 31st and continue through February 1st. Please take a look at and plan ahead for alternate routes that you might need to take. The city will also have a community engagement booth at the Winterfest, and we invite residents to stop by and connect with staff and we'll give you some updates, answer any questions you have on city operations. And lastly, the next coffee with the mayor, no city manager, to the glee of most. But we're going to have the mayor and our two chiefs. So Chief Palafis and Chief Sterling will be there on February 6th at 8:30 a.m. With updates and answering any questions you might have about city operations, and with a focus, of course, on public safety. We have Delbert Days in the rodeo. When does that start? This weekend. This weekend. Yeah. So that's what a wonderful event again this year. Thank you. And lastly, Councilmember Lynn, you asked me to provide some information about e-bikes or electric bikes in our community. The police department, in collaboration with our digital media coordinator, Steve Blake, released a new e-bike safety and education video just today that promotes responsible riding and awareness for both riders and motorists. This video supports our ongoing efforts to improve public safety and encourage respectful use of our shared roadways and pathways. Let's take a look and see what we have here.
The Lake Havasu City Police Department is committed to keeping our community safe through education, engagement, and enforcement.
Police service assistants, PSAs, play a critical role in crime prevention by patrolling designated areas, assisting with traffic enforcement, gathering valuable data, and engaging directly with the community. These teams help keep neighborhoods safe and informed. Citizens on Patrol, COPs, continue to be a vital resource for educating the public on traffic laws and regulations, with patrols now occurring during the day and expanded nighttime hours.
The Lake Havasu City Police Department traffic officers, school resource officers, and community service officers are also making a difference, especially with our youth. School resource officers are in schools daily, building relationships with students and ensuring they understand laws, safety expectations, and rules of the road. In 2025, the Lake Havasu City Police Department traffic officers and community service officers conducted extensive school presentations focused on e-bike laws and safety. Over a 4-month period, more than 4,700 elementary, middle, and high school students received training. Building on that success, the Lake Havasu City Police Department is continuing follow-up education in schools in 2026 with the program covering rules for bicycles, e-bikes, and other motorized transportation.
Education remains the priority. Officers have focused on issuing warnings to juveniles who are not following e-bike laws. However, targeted enforcement efforts are now underway in school zones and other areas of concern, with citations being issued when necessary. Encouragingly, juveniles who were cited have since been observed riding in compliance with the law.
To further enhance enforcement and visibility, Channel e-bike rule enforcement allows officers to patrol on e-bikes in areas previously accessible only by foot. This improves compliance with posted signs and increases officer presence where it matters most. For information about bicycles, e-bikes, and other motorized transportation, please refer to the Wheels of Responsibility brochure. Together, through education, awareness, and shared responsibility, we can keep our streets safe for everyone.
Really nice, fine job. Thanks to leadership and our police department. And of course, thank you to Steve Blake for helping put together a wonderful video. E-bikes continue to be a growing concern in our community on both sides, whether you're a parent with children with an electric bike, or motorists that are concerned, or pedestrians that are concerned with e-bikes in our community. It's a challenge that we're very much aware of, but it's not just Lake Havasu City. There's lots of cities and towns in Arizona and across the country that are dealing with e-bikes, and it's a new trend, new technology. It's really changing the look and feel of our communities. We are closely watching what other cities and towns in Arizona are doing. We updated our e-bike ordinance. Council adopted that a couple months ago, and we're watching very, very closely at what other cities are doing. City of Glendale, just in the last couple of weeks, passed a new ordinance. And I had some conversations with Chief Sterling about that and what they're doing there. Requirement of helmets, requirement of lighting on some of the e-bikes, and actually reducing the citation amount so that it's something that any kiddos on a bike that are going to need to be stopped by an officer, a little more palatable in terms of what that looks like and a little more acceptable through the court process. So they introduced a citation level at $50. They still have other citation levels. These are just some ideas. Mesa introduced one. I believe it was Chandler or Gilbert just recently introduced an update to their ordinance as well too. But to say all that is that we're closely monitoring that situation. I would ask Captain Williams. I know from the police department's perspective, if you could share a little bit about maybe if you have any stats you could share, or I mean, how much are e-bikes taking up your time and your officers' time?
I think you covered it beautifully. I don't even need to be here anymore, apparently. That was very good, boss. So as we all know, contentious topic has been for the last couple of years. A couple of years ago, technology advances. All of a sudden, every kid from 11 to 17 is riding what appears to be an electric motorcycle. We all know that's not the case. They have pedals. But it was us then trying to figure out what's the best way to approach it to keep the public safe, the motorists safe, and where do we even begin? So obviously, as the presentation showed, we started in the schools. 3rd grade through 12th all received about a 30-minute presentation all last year. We're ready for round 2, which is due to begin next week. So we're going to hit the schools again. I'm hearing from parents back, well, where's the education? Well, we did it and we're doing it again. So I don't think that's going to be a topic of concern moving forward, because I don't think we can do any more education-wise when it comes to this new technology. As far as the different areas of the community are concerned, we are all aware that we live in a unique location with streets that aren't necessarily friendly for pedestrians sometimes or individuals on bicycles. We don't have the laneage. We don't have sidewalks on half of the different streets that we're dealing with. And it makes it difficult with a lot of the turns for motorists to see anybody, whether it's a motorcycle or somebody on an e-bike riding in those areas. So again, that's all part of our education that we talk about when it comes to what are the different classes of the e-bikes, what are the rules of the road, really teaching these kids. They're not going through a driver safety class like you are with a driver's license. So we're relying heavily on parents and then what we can provide in the school. So that was first and foremost. And that lasted all about this last year. So now where are we at today? Contact-wise, I have some stats that I can share with you to give you a little bit of insight as to where we're at, not only in different areas like the channel, but also, throughout the city. So starting with the channel, what I did is I tasked our police service assistant last year between August and December to do a bunch of speed studies in east and west banks of the channel, varying different times of the day, different days of the week, and 50 different opportunities that she had to, from an hour to 2 hours at a time, gather some statistics, which, depending on how you feel about it, could be alarming, but at least it's a place to start. So out of the 96 e-bikes that were contactors, I could say radared, during that time, 8 of them were less than 10 miles an hour. 42 of them were between 10 and 15 miles an hour. 37 of them were between 16 and 20 miles an hour. And 9 were between 21 and 25 miles an hour. Giving you a little bit of statistical information regarding what we're dealing with, inside the city, primarily with calls for service. So field contacts are a situation where we would make contact with somebody, but it's not a crime. So we would document it on what we call a field information card. It's in our system, and it could be a warning. It could be contact for any type of disturbance or a violation of an e-bike. So e-bike specific field contacts from 2024 to year-to-date 26 were 93. So most of those were educational contacts with these kids on their e-bikes throughout the community for various violations that we witnessed. Crash reports involving e-bikes from 2024 to year-to-date 26 was 33. 27 of them were injury related. So as you can see, that the injuries are going to be a result of just merely falling down, let alone any type of collision. And unfortunately, we did have the 2 fatals in the last several months. Citations. So this is where it gets a little bit, tricky. None of us are built necessarily in our DNA to write little kids tickets. So it's been a big learning curve for the police department and for my people, myself included. It's very difficult. We see our own children here. We know that they're young, they're making mistakes. So we're trying to give them as much benefit of the doubt as possible, and as well not hit them with a fine that's a little bit excessive at times. 2 citations we wrote in 24. 25 we wrote 5, and year to date this year we wrote 9. So we're stepping up enforcement, obviously not heavily, but it's a gradual process, and it's certainly, definitely, it's time. We understand that there needs to be some type of enforcement. We can't just continue to give warnings and not see the corrective behavior on the back end. So that's where we're at with that. And again, as city manager stated, we're constantly looking at different ways to approach it. A lot of that will be your decision. I understand that, and we'll support whatever that is and whatever that looks like. But for the time being, the push forward again is to hit the schools again. We're also available to speak to any entities that want to have an educational time with our officers to go over that same class we put on for the elementaries and the high school and middle schools. So that's all available. And obviously, I don't know if we can have any questions on this item. So
I have a question.
yes.
I love the brochure concept, and I'd love to have it in the hands of all the cycle shops here in town. I know one particularly that would love to have that. We could either purchase the brochures from you, but better yet, is there a way we can get a PDF to each one of these cycle shops that they can print, and encourage them to print this documentation and make sure it goes out to everybody that buys a bike moving forward in Lake Havasu City. And I think if we could advocate that way, it'll be a simple way to get the message out as well. Thank you.
We'll do that.
Mayor? Councilmember Moses, and then
And thank you for all your work you do on that. I was contacted by some homes because I had some moms that were saying, hey, my kids haven't learned any of this stuff. I'm like, okay, well, where do they go to school? And they're homeschooled.
Okay.
And so if we could maybe next time we go to these schools, shoot a video that we can maybe then share amongst the homeschoolers or something along those lines. But the other question I had, so I get there isn't a person up here that wants to write a $150 ticket to some 13-year-old kid. That doesn't make sense. But we do need better behaviors. Do we contact the parents? So when you make contact with them, instead of like, there's something about a ride home in the back of a cop car to tell your parents, hey, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how it used to be in my day, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
not that I got in the cop car, but allegedly.
Yes, of course. Barring an immediate call for service that we need to break, absolutely, it's part of our protocols to get a hold of the responsible party, the parents, the grandparents, whoever the child lives with.
Yeah.
And yes, we've given them rides home. And obviously, on any type of accident, injury, they're notified and brought to the scene anyway. So.
And are the parents remorseful or like, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of it? Or
depends on which. It's half and half.
Do we track which kids we're giving these warnings to that next time we will elevate and get serious?
It's difficult. Honestly, there's really not a built-in mechanism in our records management system to do that. So we would actually have to have somebody go in and keep their own database. We are switching to a new records management system that may be a little more beneficial in that regard. But, our repeat offenders, if you will, we know who they are.
That's who we're looking for, right? There's a handful there's 10% making it bad for the night.
And to be honest with you, those are the ones that are receiving the citations. So
good. Well, I appreciate your guys' effort.
Mayor, can I ask? Now that I can ask.
actually, Vice Mayor Diaz, did you still have a comment? Or
Yeah. So I was thinking the same thing Councilmember Moses was thinking. So if you give a kid a warning and he has to go home, he's not going to tell his parents, and hey, I got a warning. So appreciate that, and I appreciate all the work you do. The data, the information, the numbers you just rattled off. Could you get that to City Clerk Mrs. Williams, so we could get all the members of the council could have that information, so we're able to talk to the community about it.
Of course.
Thank you.
Councilmember Campbell?
Yeah, one question. When I was younger, I didn't think it was legal to ride on the sidewalks. And I was always told you got to get off your bike and walk across the crosswalk. And I was quite surprised when I found out, no, you can ride bikes on your sidewalks. And then as I saw this, and these bikes are getting faster, as you know, the complaints I'm getting on Main Street is, somebody's walking out of a retail shop or a bar or a restaurant and almost gets hit by one of these vehicles these kids are going really fast. And how can we look at maybe not allowing bicycle traffic in retail or commercial zones? Obviously, if you're on a rural road and you're driving home, and that's fine, that the odds of somebody backing out of their car, the garage is 25 feet at least away from the street. It's easier to see. Most of our cars are safer now when it comes to backing up. But I am really concerned about the comment, and I've been watching it on McCulloch, how fast those kids are just whipping down the sidewalks and what we can make. Is there a way that we can, is this a city ordinance? Is it a state ordinance? How do we look at that?
Well, I think we did something similar with the skateboard ordinance between Acoma and Smoke Tree. Am I correct? It would be something very similar to that, adding that into the language, I would assume. But again, a decision that, put it in place, we'll enforce it.
Yeah, it's going to be a multi-pronged approach. We do need some help from the state legislature on some of this. So because of this is a statewide concern at this point of defining what the e-bikes are, is I think maybe Mr. Knudsen mentioned in Glendale, do we require helmets, a permit process, whatever that might look like. So it's going to be a multi-pronged approach as this continues to evolve.
Well, what I understand that we have our own city ordinance that includes all that. I'm just stating, is this a conversation we might want to look at? Because it is dangerous, and I didn't know, is it a state statute that says that you're allowed to ride your bicycle on a sidewalk?
That's our ordinance.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm not talking about state legislation.
Talking about to address the issue completely, though, it's going to be a multi-pronged approach that includes the engaging with the state legislature as well as the discussions we'll have at the local level with our ordinance. Similar to what we did when we updated the e-bike ordinance about a year ago.
Right. And it goes back to, I was advocating more for speed related, and they were saying there's no way that we can document that speed. It obviously shows that you did. And to me, if it was not human powered, I think that's very, very difficult to identify. But you identified 9 that were going in a very dangerous speed above 15 miles an hour, which is the average speed according to stakeholders in the community that own bike shops that have told me when they go to other places. So I still think I would love to advocate and consider going back to a speed, because they can definitely capture a speed.
We're starting to get a little bit of policy discussion.
Okay, guys, you're right. Absolutely. Let's move on.
Yeah,
thank you. I didn't think I could ask all these questions, but I was letting it rip.
Yeah. So, Councilmember Lynn.
Mary. So this is going to be the teacher in me talking. So I'm every day I got these little ones that are coming to school that don't know the rules of the road unless their parents are going to teach them. Sitting through a 30-minute educational thing, their minds are going to go all over the place. Could we look at something like in the old days, you'd see the police officers, if they saw a kid doing something good, they give them a sticker or something. Could we maybe, because we have a lot of officers that are at the schools in the morning watching traffic, like maybe a free day at the aquatic center or something, like an incentive, like, hey, we watched you on your bike, you were doing good, like here's a free day at the aquatic center.
Sure.
I mean, I'm just thinking incentive for a kid, they like rewards more than, I don't know. I was just thinking about that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and we're always looking at ways to give an attaboy, not just go out there to catch somebody doing something wrong. So absolutely.
Thank you, Captain Williams. Mr. Knudsen?
Sure. Thank you, Captain Williams, for your expertise and your professionalism. There's a lot associated with e-bikes on the enforcement side, roads, sidewalks, and what that looks like. So kudos to you. Kudos to the entire team that is working through these issues and identifying some creative ideas, and we'll bring them before council and lobby for some legislative change as well, too. So with that, Mayor and Council, that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Knudsen. All right, we'll move on to item 7, which is our public hearings. During each of our public hearings, there will be an opportunity when we open the public hearing to hear from our citizens that would like to address the city council on the item. If you want to, you don't have to sign up. Just make your way to the podium, state your name for the record, and then just address the council directly. At that point, we can have a two-way conversation. At the end of the meeting, there will be a call to the public, and that will be where citizens can address the council on items within the jurisdiction of Lake Havasu City, and I'll go over those guidelines when we get to that portion of the meeting. We'll start with item 7.1, which is a Series 12 restaurant liquor license for Boathouse Grill at 801 Beachcomber Boulevard. Ms. Williams?
Mayor and City Council, Janelle Maples has applied for a Series 12 restaurant liquor license for Boathouse Grill located at 801 Beachcomber Boulevard. All posting requirements have been met, all fees have been paid, and no objections were received. The location is properly zoned for a Series 12 liquor license. The application was provided to you in the packet, and the applicant is in attendance to answer any questions from the City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Are there any questions from members of the council for Ms. Williams or the applicant on this item? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the City Council on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any discussion or possible motion. Yeah, Vice Mayor Diaz.
I move to recommend that the Arizona Department of Liquor Licenses and Control approve a Series number 12 restaurant liquor license for Boathouse Grill, 801 Beachcomber Boulevard.
Second.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Diaz, a second from Councilmember Moses. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Moving on to item 7.2 is a services agreement with Closed Closet to provide services to city problem-solving court participants, city court justice-involved individuals, and city police department contacts for fiscal years 25-26 and 26-27.
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
I would
Councilmember
like to
Lynn?
recuse myself from this item.
Okay, Councilmember Lynn will recuse herself from this item. Judge Colali, welcome.
Aloha, Mayor Sheehy, Vice Mayor Diaz, and council members. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you folks today about this item. I'm excited about it. Many of you have heard me talk about how the court is like an ambulance at the bottom of a cliff, that by the time people get to the court system, they've already fallen over the cliff, and we're trying to rectify problems that we identify. Well, we're really good at identifying those problems, but we haven't been so good at providing the services necessary. We might be able to get them to a hospital, but if there's no hospital for them to get to, then we have a really hard time dealing with them, because typically the legal system will put you in jail, give you a fine, and ask you to do some kind of counseling, and that's about it. And that's what we've done in the past. Well, over the last number of years, we have started to utilize treatment court principles, which means a more directed effort up front will give us a better result on the back end. And so we're looking for partners to be able to provide that portion of the services that are needed when we identify somebody that comes into the legal system that has underlying issues. Because most of the time, if they have underlying issues and we don't resolve those issues, or we don't try and help them resolve those issues, they're going to come back into the legal system. About 80 to 95% of the time, they're going to come back into the legal system if we don't do that. And so we're excited because you folks know that in Veterans Court, we've had a lot of success in being able to identify those services and provide those services for veterans. We have been working really hard to be able to find partnerships that we can do that same thing for those that are part of our Building Bridges Court. As you folks know, Building Bridges Court it identifies those with mental health and substance use issues, and then we try and provide them with the services they need, and maybe the skills that they haven't learned to help them be who they need to be. We've identified a great partner, and this is what's before you folks today. We're wanting to partner with the Closed Closet to provide those services to us when we have people that come in. The idea is that they're not going to come in on a schedule. We don't know when people are going to come into the legal system, but when they do come in, we need those services. And we've identified the Closed Closet and started working with them closely to try and provide those services that are needed in our Building Bridges Court. Also for the police department, when they have contacts on the street and there's somebody that might need those services. That's what this agreement will do, will provide for those people, is that we will know that when we need those services, they're available because we're providing that kind of support to them. So the item before you folks today is a services agreement with the Closed Closet. The amount that we've identified is $60,000 a year. It's prorated for this year, so it's somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 for the rest of this year. We're trying to get it on the same schedule as the budget cycle. So we've got about a year and a half of the first year, and then we're hoping to be able to be on that budget cycle. The agreement itself can be terminated by both parties. There are quarterly reports that come to the court before the money is paid out. And at any time, if council wishes, they can have any kind of report that they would like to have. And so that's what's before you folks today. I know that Christine is here with the Closed Closet. I know that she has some support here also. And we're just excited for this partnership. As you folks know, we've also tried to build a community resource team that mirrors our Veterans Resource Team, so that not only are we providing the ambulance and the hospital at the bottom of the cliff, but also the services needed at the top of the cliff so that people don't fall over. And so all of this is a comprehensive package that we're working on, and this is a key component to that entire vision and in that entire package. So with that, that's what we're presenting to the council. And if there are any questions, or if there's somebody else that you folks would like to talk to, I'm all ears.
Thank you, Judge Colali. Are there questions or comments from members of the council? Yeah, Vice Mayor Diaz.
Thank you, Judge. Give me an idea of what would be included in the quarterly report before we pay the money out. What would that look like? What are you looking for?
Really what it comes down to is how many people have they served and how has that affected those people? Is it something that has been positive for those people? That's kind of what's going to come to us is who was served and what kind of services did they get and what are the results of those services? You know, did it have the effect that we wanted it to have? That's kind of what we're looking at.
And then just kind of run through. So someone comes to the court and then you deem that they need to utilize a closed closet. What does that look like? How does that process work?
So one of the things that we're excited about is that the Closed Closet has been working closely with some of the other organizations in Lake Havasu City that can provide services, can provide counseling, those kind of things. And they have started to schedule time at the Closed Closet where we as a court can then say, okay, we know that, say, this treatment provider is going to be at the Closed Closet Tuesdays at 3:00. Once we know that, then we tell the people that are in our program, hey, Tuesday at 3:00, we need you to be at the Closed Closet. The nice thing is that we provide the support to that person and then a little bit of encouragement to be there at that time. And then on the back end, we see what the results are and then adjust depending on what those needs are.
And then comes a point where this person has done what they were supposed to do at the Closed Closet with your communication with Christine and her team, and then you check that box like, okay, we're good to go.
Sometimes that's the case. I will tell you that typically that is not going to happen for a couple of years. The process itself takes a little bit of time, and so there will always be I don't know that we could ever say that a box is completely checked. Because there is a lot to work on. It took the people that we're working with, it took them a while to get where they are. It's going to take us a while to get them where we want them to be. And so, yes, there will be a point in time when maybe they don't need those services. And that's the point in time that maybe they don't need our assistance and they graduate from our program and they become, tax-paying members of our community, which is what we want them to be. Because for me personally, you know that I do some other things in the community. I get the opportunity to coach children and youth and all of these things. And these are the people that they're parents that I coach, right? And these are the people that I see in the stores when I go. And we all have a vested interest in these people being healthy in our community. And once we identify that they have those needs, being able to provide those services for those needs is what this is and how this will help us.
We've been using the Closed Closet for a amount of time now already.
So we have been working with them to partner for that. Our concern is that we know that as we have more success, there's going to be a greater burden, greater load put on the Closed Closet.
Financial burden.
Yes. And as that happens, we need to be able to say, and here's how we're providing for those services. Here's what we're doing as a city to do that. And as a council, we appreciate all that you folks do and the foresight that you have to be able to say, hey, we want to provide for services for that population. They're one of the most vulnerable populations in the city. And we appreciate the fact that you folks are aware of that and are willing to do that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah.
Mayor.
Councilmember Moses.
Thank you. So all of these services that we're requesting, these are services that are already currently going on, right? There's this money that we're about to hand over isn't for anything new or anything.
Not necessarily anything new. Obviously, there will be. It's for the amount.
Demand.
And it's kind of like, so there are organizations that will go to, for example, inpatient treatment facilities or even jails and say, hey, we don't know when we are going to need a bed, but when we do, we need it. It's not, when things happen, when people come into our program, they are in crisis. And if we have to wait a month, 2 months, 5 months, 6 months to be able to provide those services to them, very often they're lost. And so this is kind of building that barrier to keep them from going over the edge in that when they're ready, when they come, we have those services.
So we're going to have a bed at the Closed Closet? Is that what?
No.
You're using that as an example?
As an example, yes.
Okay. So all of the services that they currently provide are the same services we're going to be receiving. We're just going to be offsetting it with taxes, taxpayer funds.
Although if there are some services that they aren't providing and we can partner with them and this,
we might be able to look at those extra things.
We could do that with this funding that we couldn't do right now.
Okay. How are they currently providing these services? Is it all donations or are there grants that they've gotten? Is there anything like that?
It's a combination of, and what Christine can come up in just a moment, but so the services that the closed clause is already providing, what this really is to enhance the building Bridges Court. So there will be a requirement. There's actually physical space now, as provided in this contract, for different service providers to be there on certain days. So when the judge says that they would urge them to go, that means he's going to order them to go, and they will have to be there on Tuesday at whatever time based on the schedule that these different service providers are there. So that's the difference, is now we have the mechanism that the service providers are there on a particular day for a particular time that the court can schedule these folks into, in addition to the different services, because the clients that we see in building Bridges courts are also clients that the closed clauses might be helping otherwise with other needs that they may find themselves getting from the closed clause. But that's the fundamental difference. So there is a difference. It's not just now, if this was to pass this evening, that they're just going to now be getting funded through taxpayer dollars. But does that answer your question, Councilmember Moses?
And I guess in a sense, there is that bed that you were talking about with what Mayor just said, is that there is a space there that is being provided for us to be able to say, you in this treatment court need to go at this time to be able to receive that service. And so I guess in that sense that there kind of is.
Okay. I'm interested to talk to Christine, if that's okay.
Yeah. And then Councilmember Koch, we'll bring her up after.
Sorry, a question for me.
I just had a question. What would how did the funding number come about? I didn't really see. And then do you have, based on your experience with our problem solving courts, what kind of numbers are we looking at or are you anticipating?
So, I learned a great lesson with Veterans Court. When we were starting our Veterans Court, I told council that we would never have more than 5 or 10. I was certain that we didn't have that many veterans in Lake Havasu, and they weren't
asking you to tell me exactly. I was just in your experience over the last few years.
Here's what I will say. This is we put in an extra effort to make sure that this population is the one that we're looking for. It's a more directed effort, and so the population isn't going to be as great. We do an assessment with each of them, and based on that assessment, if they're what we call high-risk, high-need individuals, then they're going to come into or they're the best fit for the program. If they're anything else, then there might be something that we can do, but it typically won't be this program. And so the numbers are going to be less. I'm going to guess at 10. And I will tell you that because of the needs of these people, 10 is a lot. And if we start to go over that, I think we're really going to struggle with being able to do all the things that we need to do. As the closed closet will, if we're sending, that many people on a regular basis to them, I think we might run into some problems if we get more than that.
And then the funding number, like where arbitrarily?
Well, no, it wasn't really arbitrary. It was really basically what does it look like if somebody goes into, say, a treatment service and they're going to do that 5 times in a certain period of time. And it came down to, I think we decided that for every person, somewhere between $7 and $15 a day over the course of a 30-day period ends up being $300 a month, or a month for 10 people. And so we kind of did that. The math isn't perfect, but that's kind of the idea behind that we're looking at what does it cost to have these people do those services, and what does that look like on the back end. And so that was the math that kind of went into that, seeing what we typically will have somebody do and what would be the cost of that to have them go do that.
Do you have any other questions, Councilmember Koch?
No, I was just trying to think of like how you would, at the end of a reporting, how you would know if there was less or more than what you were thinking there was going to be based on a number. So now you've set a number kind of in place, and I mean, granted, you don't know yet, and I get that, but I'm just saying there's nothing tied to it for statistical purposes.
Right. And I think two things. One, we built into the system that we can come back in a year and a half and say, this is working or it's not working, or whatever the case may be, we can make those changes. But I think more importantly, it kind of goes back to the idea of a bed. We don't know how many we're going to have, but when we need it, we really need it. And
just in experience with these type of contracts, we can always go up. It's much easier. But if you try to take away, it's very difficult. Absolutely. So that's why I was just like, if there was a number tied to it where you could say, if you're serving this many, and just because then it's easier, we just have other contracts. So I'm just trying to think through the process, just trying to think through it.
Absolutely.
Vice Mayor Diaz, did you have a comment?
I think hopefully when Christine comes up, she'll talk about some staff she's had to add to help facilitate what we're asking these people to do. And it's very similar to public-private partnership like we have with the Humane Society and with Haven. It's no different. So, okay, that's it.
We'll open the public hearing in just a moment. Is there any other initial comments or questions from members of the council? All right. We'll go ahead and, Christine, if you would like to come up and maybe if you have a presentation or you have anything you'd like to add, and then we can take questions from the council. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I want to thank you, Mayor and City Council members, for this opportunity. I just want to give a quick, I typed something up real quick so I don't run all over the place. The Closed Closet began in 2009, became a nonprofit in 2014. A generous member of our community bought us our forever home in March of 2021. The Closed Closet started out handing out clothes to our underserved community members, and many would ask about other needed resources. Our forever home allowed us to grow to our community resource center, which will be called Havasu Hope someday. In the past 6 months, we have had 951 new clients with 2,563 visits through the Closed Closet in 6 months. We had 625 showers, 198 laundry visits. In the past 3 months, we've had 391 people for our cooling stations. Okay, that's just the Closed Closet part. That's not including the CRT or the courts. And the reason why I know this, my beautiful new son-in-law designed a program just for me for our stats. We have exactly how many people come in, how often they come in, what they receive. I think we gave away like 8,000 shirts last year. I mean, I know exactly how many shirts we gave away. I know all of that from this database I have. And now we have the CRT, the Community Resource Team, that got kind of passed on to us. That is something totally different. CRT is when they come in and they need more resources than clothes and what we have in the facility to give away for free. In October, we saw 47 people, November 52, December 43, in January so far we've seen 64 people. And these are people that come in that are just on their last leg. They come in and they're lost. They come in and we work with over 40 different resources from our city, our county, and state now. We're actually picking up state people because we don't have a lot of rehab facilities and stuff here. So we're looking at the Phoenix level also to try to get people there. Working on transportation for that. We have referred, in the month of December, we referred over 700 resources out to all of our local resources. And we actually have a few people here that we work with very closely with resources. We are here not to recreate the resources. We're here to band us together because people don't know where to go. They just don't have no clue where to go. So they come to the Closed Closet and they'll say, hey, I need help with this. Hey, I need help with this. Here's some of the things that we have, resources that people have come in for. Food, housing, electric, water, car repairs, gas, sober living assistance, substance abuse assistance, Social Security, legal assistance, GEDs, child support information, things needed for court, food handler cards, insurance information, access, crisis, medical, etc. It goes on. People come in from all walks of life to come in from Lake Havasu to get needed services. And so it's been very difficult. And I have Lindsay that came on board in March, and I have been doing this on my own with all my help. Some of my volunteers are out here that come in faithfully every week and help build it to where it is today. And so I hired Lindsay in, I think it was September. If it wasn't for her, there's no way I could even do what I'm doing now with all these people. She spends hours with each individual coming in. We're all about a hand up, not a hand down in the Closed Closet. We're here to help people get back on their feet. We're help the people to get back into society. When people come in and they ask for electric payments, do you have a job? That's the first thing we ask. If they don't have a job, we ask, why do you not have a job? Is there something physical, mental? Is there something going on that you don't have a job? And so let's say there is something that they are physically, so then that's the next step we need to do is try to help them get to SSDI or, help them get fixed to be able to work. And that's when we get Arizona Workforce. He's in there every Wednesday. Todd is amazing. He works with clients every single Wednesday and comes in and he helps them either go back to college to get a better, higher education so they can help support their family. Or he'll help them, get a resume. He'll help them, he's just amazing. He's got lots of jobs. And so that's what our goal is, to help people get back on their feet and get jobs, to be a support. And it's been really rough. There was one incident, this lady, oh my gosh, she didn't have a job and she needed electrical, or she was getting kicked out of her place. And I said, well, we can't call anybody because no one's going to help you if you don't have a job. What are you going to do next month? So she called us, they're here to evict me. And we're like, we're sorry. You had 3 weeks to go find a job. And so guess what? About 2 weeks later, she came back and she goes, I got a job. It's because that helped her, not all incidents, but that helped her go get that job that she needed to get back on her feet. Because some people are down here and they just need a little help to get up. They just need that little help to just get back on their feet. So it's just amazing. As far as grants is concerned, the clothes closet, since I've started doing this, has been help from the community. I have been able to keep the doors open through the help of small grants. It's been the help of our general community have just donations, because I'm a 501c3 and I'm also an Arizona state tax credit. So it's been working so far, and we've been awesome, and it's been staying, and with the help with all my volunteers and stuff. We have a good relationship with the resources, organizations, police department, courts, and various needs from our community. So anyway, that's any questions?
Thank you so much. Are there any specific questions? Yeah. Councilmember Moses.
Oh, that's wonderful. So the last time I came and spoke to you, the transportation was a big need. Is that something you're hoping to offset with this money that you're getting? Or, is there some new services that you're hoping to bring on because of this money?
To be honest, I need employees. I can't do this on my own anymore. I literally can't. And I hired Lindsay. And like I said, the money that's been coming in for years has been helping keeping it running. But having employees is a whole new level. And it's so much. I cannot tell you how busy. Today we saw 38 people in 5 hours. 38 people came in those doors in 5 hours. And I think Lindsay, how many did you see today? 10? Huh? She saw and sat with 10 people today that needed help with resources.
Absolutely.
And I'm running around all over the place.
And how long have you been doing it on your own?
Since 2009.
Yeah. And I've seen your presentations so many times. And to be honest, I think you have one of the biggest hearts and one of the most beautiful souls I've ever met in Havasu. And I'm going to be honest about another thing. It's really hard to say no to you. It's really hard not to just go like, yeah, okay, well, what do you need? Yeah, let's go get it. Let's find it. And so I just want you to know I appreciate everything you do for our community. You've always been there, and that's the beautiful thing about Havasu is we support those people who want to make a difference. And the community has always supported you, and I appreciate what you do. So
thank you.
I hope that you can hopefully get some of those big goals and big dreams that you have that I've heard of. And yes. I want to urge you though, just because, past experiences, not with you, but with other organizations, in my estimation, in my beliefs, this is when cities start getting into trouble with taxpayer funded dollars going to nonprofits and going to different things. This is when things start getting down a slippery slope. and it can potentially be end up in a bad way like it has in the past. Literally in our town, it's ended up in a bad way.
Yes.
I don't see that ever happening with you or any of your current board right now, but who knows what happens in the future, right? And so I'll just urge you that the reporting and the tracking is very important, that we can point to tax dollars going and helping these people. It's just extremely, extremely important. You know, if I'm a private donor and I give you money and I trust you, and that's what it is. I have no problem giving you my own private money. It's a much bigger responsibility when I have to give you somebody else's money.
Yes, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I
And
do
so
agree.
it's a huge responsibility that you're taking on, and I'll support this, but just know that it's a little scary.
I agree. And I have a lot of support, and with the support is going to be able to help me spend a little bit more time getting grants, because I'm spread. I still work full time, by the way, while I'm doing this.
I know you do. It's amazing.
I'm hoping that I'll get a little more time eventually. I'm still working on that by Lindsay taking over this and then hiring another part-time person, and that will be good. And then transportation, yes, we're still working on that. I have a grant writer in Las Vegas that I'm working on right now. He is working on a new security system for my building. So we are working on that stuff. So
Thank you.
thank you very much.
Any additional questions from the council for Christine? Yeah. Then we'll have the public, Vice Mayor Diaz. And then
Yeah.
Councilmember Campbell.
So, and I agree 100% with what Councilmember Moses said. It makes fiscal sense to go by what he was mentioned. The only thing I see a little bit different than this situation is that this is not a 501c3 just asking to come into the city asking for money to keep afloat. They're providing a service that the city is asking them to do. So that's why I think it's a little bit different. But I 100% agree with what Councilmember Moses said, and I know you won't steer us wrong. Thank you.
Councilmember Campbell?
Mayor, I just want to say I was in a meeting today and I was talking about this topic because they were asking what's coming up on the council. And I said, a show of hands, do you think $60,000 to make sure that our community members that are at the lowest points of their life get lifted up in somebody like yourself that have proved yourself over and over and over? Raise a hand, and the whole organization raised their hand that they thought this was a great way to use our tax dollars. And again, thank you. I personally know how much you do, and I know the community supports you a lot. And there's no way that we could afford to do what you do and help people for $60,000. No way. Thank you much.
Your family is a big supporter of the Closed Closet. Your whole family.
Well, we love you.
Councilmember Dolan?
Christine, just want to thank you again. Your heart is amazing. I love your soul. I think a very important thing that hopefully people will take out of this too is the tax credit. Yes. Can you give us a little bit of information on that, how people can do it? Because that's a great way for the community members to support you, because rather than give their money to the state, they can send it directly to you.
Yes.
So that would be a great, maybe you can explain that really quick, just so people at home and everybody here can hopefully help you out this time of year with taxes.
Thank you. I have so much to do, and I just don't have enough time. Hours aren't enough. And that's one of my goals, was to go to all the accountant places and give them forms out. So if you owe the state of Arizona tax money, you are able to give the Closed Closet, I believe it's, don't quote me on the exact amount, it's like $478 for single and $938 or something like that for married couples. So if you owe that, you can write a check to the Closed Closet, and I give you a form and you can take it to your accountant and it'll come right off your state taxes. So you can actually say, hey, I want my state taxes to go here, instead of letting the state of Arizona decide where it wants to go. So that is a very amazing thing. I became one last year.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. I just know about that.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Christine. We'll continue on with the public hearing. So if anyone would like to address the city council.
Thank you.
on this item, thank you. Please just make your way to the podium. Just state your name for the record and share your comments.
Kimberly Zanin, Lake Havasu City. Thank you, council and mayor. I wasn't planning on talking, but this is near and dear to my heart, obviously. Just to add to it, not only does She get referrals from the courts here, but also the justice court. I was the coordinator of our treatment program there. And we also had to sometimes mandate a client to go to do community service. She always took those on. She always takes on extra. So it's not just, people that are walking on the streets. We are asking from the courts to have her help our clients as well. And so just giving her that extra hand. So she is kind of a city worker in so many ways because we're asking so much of her. So I'm thankful that hearing such great positive response from all of you. Thank you, because our community really needs it as we keep growing to help to keep our community healthy and strong and building, because we could build buildings, but we got to get our people strong as well. So thank you all for listening and taking care of this. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, please just make your way to the podium if you'd like to address the City Council on this item.
Hello, my name is Rich Tully. I'm a full-time resident here. I've been volunteering at the Closed Closet for several years. I've been there in person when people show up in crisis and seen this facility provide them with resources of all kinds. Sometimes water, sometimes food, sometimes a hug. It's an impressive place to be. It's a great place to spend your time. It's a great place to volunteer. And I've seen lives changed. And I think that it's easy to look at a line item and see how much it costs. Doing nothing also has a cost. And that sometimes is hard to calculate. So I'm an advocate for the Closed Closet. I thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarah Tolley, and I work at the local radio station here in town. And so we often get people in crisis situations who come and they ask for resources and help. And I can't tell you how many times I've been able to say, hey, go check out the Closed Closet. Get in touch with Christine. She can help you out. And it's amazing to have a resource like that, a central hub where people can actually get the time, the care, and the help that they're looking for. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the City Council on this item?
All right. Good evening, Mayor and council members. I wrote out something so I don't ramble. My name is Ricardo Deanda, and I'm here on behalf of Arizona Youth Partnership. We're an organization that serves young adults 18 to 24 who are experiencing housing instability in our community. So I'm here today to speak strong support of our local Closed Closet, because this space is so much more than a place to receive clothing. It is trusted. It's a trusted welcoming hub, a first door that people feel safe walking through when they're struggling. For many of the young people that we serve at AZYP, housing instability doesn't begin with a housing application. It begins with unmet basic needs, not having appropriate clothing for work or school, not knowing where to turn for help, not knowing where to start, or feeling unseen. The clothing closet meets people at that very moment with dignity, compassion, and no judgment. Because the Closed Closet is locally rooted and accessible, individuals are often referred directly to Arizona Youth Partnership through the Closed Closet. Through this collaboration, we have been able to connect young adults to housing, case management, and essential resources that help stabilize their lives. The majority of the young people that AZYP has served here in Lake Havasu City experiencing housing instability have been through the Closed Closet. We get that direct referral. And we're also at the Closed Closet weekly. Andrea here is our new employee, and she goes almost every single day. So she's on site. So this collaboration works because it is community centered. When we invest in spaces like the Closed Closet, we strengthen the entire continuum of support. We create real pathways from immediate need to long-term stability. Supporting this closet means supporting dignity, prevention, and connection. It means ensuring that no young person has to navigate housing instability alone. I could go on and on with a lot more examples and a lot more praise, but as everyone here knows, she's very deserving. She deserves this support and this investment. All right. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Todd Baldwin. I'm a resident of Lake Havasu City. Been here for 35 years and Air Force veteran. Worked for Mojave County and the state of Arizona for 30 years approximately. For the last 10 years, I worked for the state of Arizona in the veteran services part, specifically employment services. I go down to, ever since 2024, I've been going weekly down to the clothes closet and providing assistance, career services, employment services for those that are requesting it. And what Christine has, she's invited me to come down, and it's an honor to be down there to assist her and see what's going on. It's incredible. And I don't know if everybody is aware, but a lot of things have been talked about, but it's really remarkable to see that in person of what she's actually doing and all the great, remarkable work. And so I'm just here to give that support, to give that testament that I've been around, as Councilman Moses talked about, some issues in past social service agencies, and it's horrible. I don't think that's the case here. Christine is very responsible, and the money is going to great purpose and cause. I've seen firsthand the remarkable work that Christine and her team provides the closed closet clients. These crucial services include community resource information, local community referrals, cooling station aid, laundry facilities, showers, clothing, food, housing and drug treatment referrals, crisis intervention, gas cards, and most of all, compassion and hope. When the closed closet clients leave there, they have those, at minimum, those two things. They receive compassion and they receive hope. And most likely they receive many more of those services I just mentioned. So they hopefully can make the changes that they're needing to do to move forward with their lives. So if not for Christine and her vision, determination, and perseverance, a void would exist in this community for persons that are in need, that have all these different barriers. And these barriers are being addressed. And I'm proud to be part of that, the Closed Closet's mission, and not giving a hand out, but giving a hand up for that individual. So it's expanded. My supervisors are all aware of what I do, because every day I'm in a different location doing outreach, and that's part of my job. So they've seen the results. They've seen some of the metrics. They want to expand and have authorized my coworker to also be in attendance on there too for assistance. So we're at the state, at Arizona at Work. We're really for this program. Doesn't cost a thing. This is part of our job. This is what we do. At DES, we have a myriad of services, and we provide information about all those services, from Access, SNAP, all those other programs that these individuals may not even know about. We make sure that they know about it. And I know Lindsay and Christine does a great job notifying them of that too. But we're there to enhance anything and everything that they're doing down there. So I highly recommend that the council vote in the affirmative to fund, assist, and support the Closed Closet in any way that you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Baldwin.
Just want to maybe a point of clarification, just because it sounds a little bit like we're getting a little bit off, in my opinion. So I don't think there's anybody up here that's not in support of the Closed Closet, but we're not deciding whether to fund the Closed Closet. We're deciding whether to fund a contract with them. Just so we're all we decided a long time ago, and it was very controversial up here behind the dais many years ago when we quit funding nonprofits. So I want to make sure the conversation is directed like we're entering into a contract with the Closed Closet. I don't want it to be like we're funding the Closed Closet, because I don't think there's a question of whether or not we support the Closed Closet, because I think we all love Christine and what she's done.
done over the years. But it just sounds a little bit like the direction of the conversation, we're getting a little off, and I just wanted a point of clarification.
Yeah, no, thank you, Councilmember Koch, and you are correct. So we have a service agreement is what we're talking about for the services that Judge Kalali had mentioned at the beginning of the presentation. So all of the great work that the Closed Closet's doing, all of the volunteers and Christine is amazing, but it's not funding the Closed Closet's actually a contract for services that it would offset the cost for the Building Bridges Court, some police services, and some respite. So thank you for that clarification, Councilmember Koch. Yes, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Judy Zellick, and I'm a full-time resident. And for about 2.5 years, my husband and I served the homeless. We fed them in the park, and we used our own vehicle to take them to places like Intake in Bullhead City to get them into rehab programs in Las Vegas, because we don't have any facilities for that here. The issue of transportation came up. And my husband and I did this with our very limited income for 2.5 years until our car gave out. And we didn't have that access anymore. And not to give Christine another job, but I'm thinking about the future possibilities, since they already offer the services, to be able to have transportation to take people to Southwest Mental Health, to take them to the intake programs, to move the people to the programs that need it, to haul them to church, to AA meetings, whatever. The people in my group, the elderly, the lower income, we're giving our time and our income to help. And I've also volunteered at the Closed Closet, and I can tell you that this would be an awesome partnership, because for once, since I've been here 8 years, you would hear something positive about mental health care, alcohol abuse. You'd hear something positive coming from the city, helping people that are living in the park to get a step up. And that's all I have to say on that subject. But I fully support Christine, and I really support this partnership with the city.
Thank you, Judy. Judy, can you say your last name again? Judy?
Zellick.
Zellick.
Zellick, like Tom Selleck with a Z.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah. Great. All right, would anyone else like to address the City Council on this item? All right, seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to council for some discussion. Again, to clarify, this is a service agreement that has specific requirements. So when Judge Kalali first mentioned and introduced this item, we talked about treatment courts and what that means, but what does that mean to the taxpayer? So when no one comes to court without having some interaction with our police department, so they have an interaction, whether that is an interaction which results in arrest and they come in to our jail, somebody's paying for all of those. And as Judge Kalali mentioned, it's a recidivism rate of 85 to 90% of the offenders would reoffend. So through the treatment court, and we know that we're good at it, so Judge Kalali and his team have recognized Source's award-winning Veterans Treatment Court. We have a youth court, and now the Building Bridges Court that allow us to get to the root cause of whatever the issues are. And so the support of this service agreement is going to save taxpayers money in the long run, because we won't have to run out another call and arrest them, bring them into the jail, and then through the court system, and then they do their time or whatever it is that's ordered of them, and they reoffend, and we do it all again and again and again. And so that continues to cost taxpayer money for each of those offenses. And then also, as Judge Kalali had mentioned, it turns them into, through the efforts of the treatment court process, into a tax-paying citizen that's contributing to the work that we're doing. So again, it's a contract for service that we're here considering this evening. Councilmember Moses, you had a comment you'd like to make?
Yeah, I just want to make a couple more comments to our Judge Kay. As you know, I appreciate you, and we've had long conversations about Veteran Treatment Court. And I remember one of the first questions I asked you when I heard about Veterans Treatment Court, and this was before I was on council, I'm like, well, why can't we do that for everybody? You know what I mean? Why can't we help everybody in need with some of your innovative practices? And I'm telling you, if anybody's never sat through a veteran treatment court or even the CRT, you know, the Building Bridges Court, it is transformational. It's amazing. I couldn't throw more support behind what you do in those four walls. It's a beautiful thing, and you should be very proud of yourself. The difference between and I've mentioned this to you, I think, before in the past, where I've gotten held up on this. Well, this is giving me heartburn. Is the Veteran Treatment Court did that all with private, all with charities,
donations,
all with donations. Like we're doing what we did with the Veteran Treatment Court with donations only, and now
if I may, there's a large federal grant that supported the Veterans Treatment Court.
And not only that, the city has also provided support through personnel and other means to be able to give us the infrastructure.
As far as the other side of what we're talking about with the CRT versus VRT, we've done that through private charity dollars. And so I'm going to press on to you, just like I've pressed on to Christine. We need accountability with this. If I'm going to agree to this, as an olive branch to some of my colleagues up here, we need to make sure that things are being accounted for, tracked, and documented.
And thank you for that, Mayor, Councilmember Moses. One of the things that has been successful since I've been here is the fact that we have good people that work in the courts. We have great employees, and they do a fantastic job. And in talking with Colleen and Kim and all of the people involved, they are all very well aware of what needs to happen, and I can guarantee you that they are the right people for that job. That as a team, we will make sure that what needs to happen will happen, and we'll be on top of that. So thank you for that, and thank you for the opportunity to let you folks know that we have a great team, because we really do, and I think that's been our success is having that team.
Judge Colley, was it $900,000 for a 3-year?
So we've had a number of different grants. One was 1.6 million. One was the latest one was $900,000 for 3 years, with the ability to go one extra year just in case.
Well, great. Let's get another one of those.
Oh, that's for Veterans Treatment Court. So very specific. Yeah.
And maybe 2 years ago, it probably would have been possible. Things have changed, and I think most programs like this are going to start looking to state funding, if there's any state funding available, or it's going to be up to the local organizations and local governments to decide that this is something that's important to them, because it's just not happening at the federal level anymore.
Councilmember Campbell?
I just want to make a statement here. Councilmember Lynn is sitting in the audience. She has recused herself, because Kristen and most of you that have worked with Councilwoman Lynn, this has been her dream as well. This is something that she saw a need from decades ago, and I don't think that we need to recognize her, because she's the most kind, humble person we know. Do not give me credit. I'm behind the scenes, but I have never seen somebody work so tirelessly for the community that needs the hand up, not the hand out. And I want to give you a round of applause, Councilmember Lynn, and thank you again for your tireless efforts in giving back to this community. You're amazing. Thank you.
Councilmember Dolan?
I'm on board with it because it is for services rendered. I'm with Cameron on this. I'm very concerned about what our community has been through with interagency. As some of you may or not know, I have a big concern about another big age group that's out there that has money that's been raised, and people give from the goodness of their heart, and I think the charities need to kind of be separate from the taxpayer dollars. So, like I said, I don't support us giving taxpayer dollars just to support these groups. She's providing a service that's very valuable, and we need it, and I appreciate her for that, and I'm glad that we have that service. So I think that's kind of some of the issue we have. I'm very much excited with and I hope all the people watching out there will do the tax credit and help them out. continue donating to that charity because that's what the charity's there for. But as far as the city's concerned, like I said, it's exchange for services that we need. And I thank you guys for stepping up and providing those valuable services, and we can work with you on that. So just want to thank you for that.
Mr. Knutson, did you have a comment? And then we'll go to Vice Mayor Diaz.
Appreciate that, Mayor and Council. Just to talk a little bit about the fact that we're not talking about a donation, we're talking about a professional service agreement. And I just want to underline that in bold and italic and all the rest. And then Councilmember Dolan identified some opportunities in terms of the tax credit that's available. So if there is a donation going to the closed closet, it's got to be coming from the public, right? So ever an opportunity that's out there for a little commercial with lots of eyes and people in the audience and those that are going to be watching the meeting online and later on, closedclosetlhc.org. There is a green button. You click it, you can donate it. There's an Amazon wish list that's identified there as well too. So while we're not talking about a donation up here, I just want to make sure that gets identified. And if the newspaper is going to do an article on this, please include that link at the bottom of the article as well too. So,
Vice Mayor Diaz.
Yeah, just to clarify before I make a motion, with your kindness, this is a contract to provide a service that the city is asking them to provide, not to fund the closed closet. So I thank Councilmember Koch's clarification on that. But with that, if we're all done, I'd like to make a motion.
Yes, please.
I move to approve the services agreement with Closed Closet to provide services to city problem-solving court participants, city court justice-involved individuals, and city police department contacts for fiscal years 2025-26 and 2025-27. Authorize the use of contingency funds in the amount of $25,000 for fiscal year 2025-26, and authorize the city manager to execute the agreement on behalf of the city.
Second.
We have a motion from Vice Mayor Diaz, a second from Councilmember Campbell. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries with 6 council members voting aye.
Thank you.
1 council member recusal.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you,
Judge. All right. The next item is item 7.3, which is resolution number 26-3891, approving services agreement with Lake Havasu Unified School District Number 1 to continue the Kinder Swim program and initiate the Mission 5 Ready to Rescue program. Ms. Vera.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for having me tonight. Today, it's just we're going over, approving services, like you stated earlier, continuing the Kinder Swim program. But I thought it would be relevant for us to talk about the expansion of the Kinder Swim program, specifically with Mission 5 Ready to Rescue. I'm going to ask that 2 of my team members, Matthew Dickinson, our aquatics program coordinator, and our lead lifeguard, Max Wolke, come to the dais and actually give you a quick presentation on Mission 5 Ready to Rescue. I think it's a great opportunity for the community to learn more about what the Aquatic Center and what the Parks and Recreation Department is doing for the community, specifically with our elementary age school students. Once you put me down, there's a clicker. So if you need me, I'll be right behind you, okay? Ellie's gonna pull it up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Tonight we are giving a presentation about the background, overview, and what Mission 5 Rescue Ready is all about. We hope that after this presentation you approve the service agreement with the Lake Havasu Unified School District Number 1 to continue the Kinder Swim program and initiate the Mission 5 Ready to Rescue program. So to start with the background of Mission 5 Ready to Rescue. Oh, there we go. I would like to call one of our lead lifeguards, Max Wolke, who is one of our amazing lifeguards and the starting point of this whole program.
Hello, everybody. My name is Max Wolke. I've been working for the Aquatic Center over the past 3.5 to about 4 years. I've been fortunate enough to be part of many very successful programs. One of those programs was very instrumental in coming up with this idea, and that would be our Centennial swim lessons. Through this program, we have worked closely with Crit tribes from Needles and across our lake, And through this program, we've provided swim lessons, water safety instructions, and also CPR. And this has been to all grade levels and also adults. And also, I've had the opportunity to work inside of a 5th grade classroom at Havasupai Elementary. During teaching CPR, I've noticed that a lot of the kids were very eager to learn. They were excited to have physical hands-on activity. They were also extremely engaged throughout the entire time. I thought, why don't we do this across the entire school district? It's something that would be very beneficial for our youth. And then I went to my bosses, Matt Dickinson and Swan Cook, and they helped bring this idea into a realistic opportunity.
So then we got a phone call from the Red Cross. We were trying to figure out what's the best way that me and Swan could make this a possibility. And we got lucky. American Red Cross reached out to us. They had heard about what we had been doing with Centennial Program and said, we have this opportunity where we are starting a mission called Mission CPR. Because what they had found was there's a disparity that exists in bystander CPR response, which impacted the out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survival. So the out-of-hospital cardiac arrest survival is that if someone goes down outside the hospital. So if somebody's walking down the street, grandma goes down at home, something happens, that is out of hospital cardiac arrest. So they found that the bystander CPR could significantly improve the survival rates. So they wanted to go in and make a mission to introduce it to everybody they possibly could. And so they started Mission CPR. They also came up with their own hands-only CPR course, which is a free course. It's only 30 minutes long, and the purpose is to teach untrained bystanders how to perform hands-only CPR. So it gives them an opportunity to reach the masses at a very cost-effective way. So for us, we decided, why not integrate this into what we already do with KinderSwim? So this will be an extension of our already existing and successful KinderSwim. Our KinderSwim program currently we provide swim lessons for 300 kindergartners every year. And it's even more than that because 300 is just what we provide for our elementary. We do HPA, we do guiding light, we do teleassist. We have, and we even have some that are even reaching out to us now that would like to be a part of it. So we reach even more than 300. With this program, just in elementary schools, we'd be reaching about 400 kids in the 5th grade. So what we would be doing with them is revisiting what they learned in KinderSwim. So in KinderSwim, they learn to jump in, float on their back, and then swim to safety. That safety could be the side of the pool, could be the end of the pool, could be if they're in the lake, to another boat. So they also get taught, things about water safety, like reach and throw, don't go. So we also teach them swim with a lifeguard, swim with a buddy, how to wear a life jacket. That is all taught to them during the KinderSwim program. So those are kind of things that we would revisit in this program. The new skills that they would learn is we're going to integrate the life-saving skills using American Red Cross Mission CPR hands-only course, which we talked about earlier. And then we're also going to teach simple life-saving water skills, which will be taught by our very own American Red Cross lifeguards. So they're going to take them and teach them that if you're out on a boat, if you're at the pool at home and something happens, your brother goes down and they can't really swim, how a noodle can be used to help you get them out of the pool. How a noodle can be used if you get in the water to keep both of you afloat. If you're out at the lake, how noodles can help. Because noodles are something that everybody has at their home. So we generally integrate that into when we do this kind of program for these children. So with that, are there any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Dickinson. Are there questions from members of the council?
An odd question. Is your dad Jeff?
No.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
You look like somebody else.
That's okay.
Like, gosh, is that him? Thank you.
Do they get actually CPR certified?
So they are at the age where they can't get CPR certified, but the knowledge is what they get.
Okay, thank you.
Are there any other questions for Mr. Dickinson? Or it's also Midge Bridge?
Yep, Midge
yes.
Bridge.
Right in front of us. Yeah.
I still have my
Midge Bridge, the connection on social media. Yes. Oh, very good. Ms. Vera, do you have anything to add or?
I would like to recognize the London Bridge Rotary Club. They've, for the past several, I think it's since inception in 1999, they've been donating $7,500 every year specifically for Kinderswim. We are actually going to go ahead and be presenting February 25th to the Rotary Club just to give them a quick explanation similar to what Matt and Max just gave, so they have an understanding of what their donation has done and how it's progressed and what we're going to continue to do, and the evolution of Kinderswim itself. The other thing that we've been working on, Swan and myself, Matt, Max, we've been working closely with Vajette, our grants manager, looking for small grants that are able to help fund this branch of the program. So we've been working with the CDC and Red Cross for small $5,000 grants to help fund this program in particular.
Excellent. Thank you. Are there any questions from members of the council before we open up the public hearing? All right, this is the public hearing.
What year was that? I'm sorry, what year was it that it started again?
1999.
Thank you much.
All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item?
Hi, Mayor. Hi, council people. God bless you all for being here. Most of you know who I am. For those of you that don't, my name is Lorelei Sprott, longtime resident here of Lake Havasu City, and I've been the fitness director at Prestige Assisted Living, otherwise known as Vista Point. I have been in the fitness industry for over 47 years. Yes, I'm in my late 60s. And have that being said, I've come up here and I've spoken in front of you in the past about having more pools for our community. For our size of our community, national standards, you should have one pool for every 20,000 residents. By our number, we are 3 pools short, actually 2.5 pools short. And I will say right now, as a fitness professional, the water works. Water works. For our veterans, even from our children, you heard about this wonderful program they have going on there. And I recently visited Cook, Swan, and because I need to expand some of my programs, and the woman is tired. What can we do to help our community? What can we do to help our citizens stay healthy and active? And I know most people say, well, we have a lake. There's a lot of people that don't go out there in the lake, and not year round. For people that have osteoporosis, if you're 100 years old, if you're 5 years old, the pool is good for you. And I'm just asking you, whatever that you can do to reconsider and to put in at least one more pool in our community, it would be greatly, greatly appreciated by the community. You go down there, if any of you haven't been down there in the mornings to see her classes, it's full. You know, I was talking to her about expanding, and she said, I've got 5 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and 8 o'clock in the evening on Sunday. She has 2 swim teams. She has the tribe. She has from Parker on up to I-40, and all of these people all converging on one small pool for their health and fitness needs. I know the city of Henderson has, at last time I checked, 12 aquatic centers, each boasting 2 pools, as well as a play area. Lake Havasu, we can do so much better. And then I had a second point, and I'll do this really quick. I'm going to talk really fast, is I am building a therapy center out in Crystal Beach and spending more and more time out there, equine facilitated therapy, which a lot of you know that I had once had an equine therapy center out here years ago, and it was widely loved and respected, and I basically financed it, and then people came to me, and it's like, well, I don't need to be financed, but yes, you can go ahead and be a part of it. I only closed my doors when I was diagnosed with cervical cancer or ovarian cancer. So I left, I'm healed, no chemo, no radiation. But I'm back here now, and as God has lent, I am opening another center, and I rely on my volunteers. Having that been said, there in Crystal Beach, Jeannie Kench lives out in that area, and I love that area. I have seen in the last 5 years, it's turning into a racetrack, off-road park. And we enjoyed every year seeing a coyote group, a family come down and raise their cubs, donkeys coming through, which it got a little overpopulated. But this spring, this year, there are no animals in the area. They're gone. What there are in the area is this mass convergence of off-road vehicles and motorcycles.
Ms. Sprott, we're here to talk about the Kinderswim program.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So if you could stay.
I'm done.
Okay,
I'm done.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the city council on this item? All All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any discussion or possible motion. I would like to just thank Mr. Wilkie for bringing this forward and for your presentation this evening. Mr. Dickinson, for your presentation as well. Great job. Are there any questions for Ms. Farrer or any of our team? Councilmember Koch?
If there are none, I'll make a motion.
Yeah, please.
I move to adopt resolution number 26-3891, approving the services agreement with Lake Havasu Unified School District Number 1 to continue the Kinder Swim program and initiate the Mission 5 Ready to Rescue program.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Koch and a second from Councilmember Dolan. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Yep. All right, we'll move on to the next item, which is item 7.4, ordinance number 26-1377, amending Lake Havasu City Code, Chapter 11.06, related to Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, officer terms, attendance, meeting frequency, and powers and duties. Ms. Vera.
Thank you, Mayor. At our previous council meeting, I brought in the introduction. We got some great feedback from council regarding making some necessary changes to the already tracked changes of the code. If you look on your packets, it'll have the suggested changes that council gave previously. One of those being from Councilmember Campbell and Vice Mayor Diaz regarding item. Let me see, I'm gonna make sure. The new item or number 7, regarding to assist the director with development and updating of master plan for the development of municipal-owned parks and specific plan for the development of each city park to be approved by city council. So we made that change. And the other recommended change came from Councilmember Lynn regarding leaving item number 6 to assist and advise the Parks and Recreation Director in establishing priorities in the first quarter of each calendar year. For those items, relating to park acquisition and park or ball field development and park or ball field improvements. The recommendations of the board shall be forwarded to the city council by the city manager during the annual budget process.
Thank you, Ms. Farrer. Are there any questions for Ms. Farrer from members of the council?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah,
I just want to clarify for the people listening that 5 and 6, they actually could be combined. 5, the Parks and Recreation Director, hold on, the change part, where it just talked about items for park acquisition, park or ball field development. If you go up in 5, they also will be part of the development of continuing plan for the city's park system and recreation programs. So I just want it to be clarified. It's for all the things. I just want to say that for the audience, because if you just say 6, it looks like they're...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Councilmember.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments before we open the public hearing? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any additional discussion or possible motion.
Mayor?
Councilmember Dolan?
Motion?
Please.
I move to adopt ordinance number 26-1377, amending Lake Havasu City Code, Chapter 11.06, related to Parks and Recreation Advisory Board, officer terms, attendance, meeting frequency, and powers and duties.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Dolan, a second from Councilmember Campbell. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vera. Item 7.5 is ordinance number 26-1378, amending City Code Section Chapter 11.10.030, location and relocation of facilities and public rights-of-way regarding damage to city rights-of-way and facilities. Mr. Young.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wow, what a wonderful night of helping the city and all the great things we offer. Let's keep it rolling by helping the streets. I come before you with a couple of changes in this ordinance that we would like to put in there. One regarding new asphalt and doing our best to make sure no one cuts into it within the 5-year period. I'd like to outlaw it completely, but we know that's not absolutely possible. Emergencies happen. things need to take place. But within those things that happen, we have stretched what needs to take place if something happens in our new asphalt. With that is our best practices, proper compaction for the entirety of the patch and extend the patch 25 feet in each direction. Conceal the edges and seams to make the rideability to the best PCI as possible. Pavement condition index is exactly what we use to grade our asphalt. And if we're talking about our asphalt, y'all should know that the asphalt itself is about 25%, maybe 20% of what holds it together. The other 80% is what's beneath it. And it's important that that structure underneath stays together and compacted properly in order to keep the patches the way we would like them to stay. The other things that we have put in place to make sure this happens is to work with all of our utility contractors to provide our 5-year plan and to make sure our communication stays in place with them so that they're able to do their work prior to us moving in and putting down new pavement. We've met with one already, and they are fully on board. We intend to meet with the others, and if this ordinance gets passed, we will set up meetings with all the contractors to make sure that they know what our procedures are and what our expectations will be, and that they will be enforced. With that, we move down to the compaction testing, and this will be a little bit of content because not everyone does it. But the fact of the matter is, it needs to be tested each lift. We want to put each lift at 12 inches. Most trenches are 3 to 4 feet with a foot of pea gravel around whatever utility is down there. So it's three tests. And that ensures that we have the proper compaction, the proper density in the soil, and it makes the final patch last the way it should. If a patch fails, then as it fails, it pushes off onto the good asphalt and it keeps eroding the roadway. If you want some examples of that, you can go down and drive Kiowa Avenue right below the highway. That street has been patched several times, and you will spill your coffee drinking it. Jamaica Boulevard just got repaved. It was the same way. That was a perfect example of patches failing. So with that, I ask that you amend this ordinance and allow us to keep our streets getting better and better.
Thank you, Mr. Young. This has been something that Councilmember Dolan has been after for many, many years. So I'll turn over to Councilmember Dolan if you have any questions or comments that you've been working on this.
Just checking with you, like I said, so you and Ron are happy with this as far as this is what other cities are doing and we're protecting our new roads?
Not tell you how many other cities we've read about and read through and make sure the best practices are being asked. And yes, we are happy with this.
Okay. And then I know, because of course us not being on the contractors and making sure, so I'm glad we have that standard of, the pressure and all that stuff. But what are we doing differently? Of course, we have the ordinance and they need to follow all this. What are we doing as a city that's different? I mean, are we tracking? Is it kind of like a permit process? Like we have to go off and, I think in the past we haven't signed off on stuff and then they just kind of get lost in the system. Like, is it kind of like
the permit process? All compaction testing will be attached to that permit. Just like, remember on the building permits, the old blue ones that used to have a checklist on what you got to do. Well, that's going to be about the same thing. And it'll get checked off and passed along through the completion of the process.
Okay. So we think we have a pretty good, with the ordinance, the wording and all that, we're good with that, but we think we have a good enough system that we can catch these things and make sure that
yes,
they are following the rules. As a parent, of course, you can make a rule, but you got to enforce it. So just want to make sure we have that enforcement side.
Unfortunately, that's the way it is. And like I said, this is going to get a little sticky, but I think let's face it, most contractors live in our community, of our local contractors. So they care about our roads as well. And once we all sit down and it might be a couple months of arguing a little bit, but once they see it, everyone will start working together.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys, and thank you to the staff for making this happen. I appreciate it.
Mayor, so are you going to be asking them for compaction tests then?
Yes.
Testing?
Yes.
This is exactly what we needed. It's a subgrade because then it sinks and then it drops down and then that's where we have all the problems. So this is amazing and I appreciate it. And there's a testing mechanism. So kudos. Good job.
Vice Mayor Diaz?
So I noticed the fiscal impact section was basically saying nothing, but there will be some fiscal impact too, because they're going to have to use more product, right, to spread out 25 feet on both sides.
Not
right or wrong? No, I mean the contractors that are
contractor will.
So when they give us their bids, they're gonna probably be a little higher, obviously. So
correct, but that'll be really only for water. If a water break happens, there'll be some there, but all other utilities, it's on the contractor and goes back to the utility department. It's not on us.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments before we open the public hearing? Yeah, Mr. Young, do you see any challenges? So if we have to cut into the road for one of our repairs, we would follow the same process?
We absolutely will. In fact, we're looking to buying our own compaction tester and making sure we're going to lead the way on what needs to be done and how it needs to be done. We will set the example.
Perfect. Yeah, excellent. All right. Councilmember Moses?
So if you said we're buying our own compaction tester, who tests the compaction if not us?
There's two other companies in town, and I don't really care to move into their territory if they can handle all that. That's a discussion for another time. If the process comes to be slowed up or something and they just can't get to it, then maybe we'd look at having a charge of our own or something. But
I would agree with that because you don't want to hold up a job
no.
Over this. And if the compaction test company, because there is only two of them, is going to take a week to 10 days to get there to do that compaction testing, it's going to be a problem. So I do really see this as a backup. And what is the test cost? The compaction testing is what? What is the cost of?
Compaction testing itself usually is a minimum of $200. On a trench with 3 lifts, you're probably looking at a total of $400 to $500, somewhere in there.
What is the cost of your equipment is what I meant.
The equipment, about $15,000 by the time you get licensed, the equipment and everything that needs to be done to handle it properly.
And then you just charge that back to the contractor for your compaction testing.
If that's which way we go.
All right, thank you.
All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any additional discussion or possible motion.
Mayor?
Councilmember Dolan?
Motion.
Please.
Move to introduce ordinance number 26-1378, amending city code section 11.10.030, location and relocation of facilities in public right-of-ways.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Dolan, a second from Councilmember Moses. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Young. Item 7.6 is a cooperative purchase of LED lighting for Rotary Park Ball Fields 1, 2, and 3, and Sarah Park Ball Fields 1 and 2 lighting improvement project to Musco Sports Lighting LLC. Mr. Reynolds.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It's always a pleasure to join you. This evening, I would like to present you a program we've been working on for quite some time, and we're ready to move forward. And that is the, did it spool me up?
Yeah, Mr. Blake.
Steve, if you can pull up the PowerPoint for Mr. Reynolds.
I just saw him leave the booth.
Mr. Kozlowski, could you track him down, please? There he is.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you for waiting. There we go. Thank you. So I'm presenting you this evening for consideration and approval for a cooperative purchase with Musco Lighting for the Rotary Park Ball Fields 1, 2, and 3 and the Sarah Park Ball Fields 1 and 2 LED light re-lighting program. So as you may or may not know, There we go. Sorry about that. So we have existing ball field lights have been in service for over 30 years. This technology is dated and it has inherent traits. We have yellowing bulbs, dimming lights. We have refractors that are bleeding light and having flare and glare and things like that. In our park system right now, we have 4 different types of lighting products, and some of them are very old and some of them are very new. The newest that we have is the Musco LED stadium lights. These are a flat projection light. These do not come out of a round disc. These are flat and have hundreds of LEDs that project out the bottom that help us with this reflection and things. It's a very good product. We have a metal halide mercury vapor and the rest, and these are all the old style with the polished disc with the refractor and a lens on them as well. And they are very problematic. The Musco LED 1200s, it's a very nice product. We like the maintenance on it. We have them currently, and the only system we have is at Cypress. We have very little maintenance, and it is under a maintenance agreement as well. And also with the LED products, we do get energy savings. The energy savings can be from 40 to 60%. That doesn't equate out to 60% off your bill because it has to go on an annual cost, but it is substantial. And also with going with an LED product, we are working with Vijet and things as well for some possible rebates. So we've been kind of working on this for quite some time. So I want you to see this picture here. You're going to see Sarah Park on the right and ASU on the left. These are both clear nights. You can see the light bleed from the ASU, which is actually quite, it's probably 8-10 years newer than what we have at Sarah Park. Sarah Park has some of the oldest lighting of our old style that we do have in service. This is the type, the metal halide. This is a typical light. You can see the structure. It's got a polished lens. It has ribbing inside for the refractor. That clear lens itself is also made to direct the light in certain directions, and the shielding does not help this style light. So this is quite, outdated. I'm going to show you, this is Cypress now. If you look at the first 2 pictures on the left, that's a clear night. You can see it's clear. You can see that light in the background. I wanted to get a shot from farther away. It is shining straight down. It's an amazing product. If you look at the 2 on the right, you'll see the parking lot, but if you look at the one on the far right, that's the night of the fire. Those are all the particulates floating in the air, and you're still seeing that pattern going downward and not upward. So that is the product that we like, and that is the one that we're speccing for our program. Here's just a spec on it. I just wanted you to see this. This is specifications. As you can see, it's flat. The hundreds of LEDs are underneath that, and they shine out, and they're targeted. There's many of them that go different directions. That's how they get that pattern. There are 2 drivers mounted on this pole because they are converted from AC to DC. And that's how you get the best direction. The AC is alternating current with flickers, so the DC, that's why they convert them. This product is very good, and like I said, we have had really good maintenance and no maintenance, really. So with this type of product, it's efficient, uses less energy. The proposal I'm giving to you includes all the lights, drivers, and hardware, and the cross-arm wiring. Everything above the ground that will be out in the sunlight will be brand new. Another thing, we had chose these particular 5 fields as they are existing Musco light frames. This is a direct retrofit. There is no extra work that goes into this. They will take down the old lights and install these directly. And Musco itself is all American made. They'd have the industry standard warranty, and they do have extended service contracts, which we would very much like to use. Something that we had started a long time ago is we have them on Cypress right now. We have them on contract for the lighting control that we utilize on all of our parks, which I'll discuss here in a little bit. So anyways, this system will provide a cleaner, brighter light, this better shielding. It's going to improve safety, and this meets the Dark Sky Pollution Initiative. We're not regulated by that, but it's always nice to try to meet that initiative. Now, this is not perfect. We may have some people complain about it, but we've done our homework, and we're really trying to present a program here and a product here that's going to benefit us all. So I'm asking you to consider to approve the cooperative purchase of the LED lighting improvements from Musco LLC in the amount of $672,000. And I would love to answer any questions.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. The demonstration of this lighting technology, if you just look at the center of our town, when the lights are on at the ASU field and at Cypress, you can tell immediately the difference, just visually, the light pollution that leaves the ASU field versus Cypress and how direct that is.
Yeah.
Yes. So great technology. Vice Mayor Diaz, and then we'll go to Councilmember Dolan.
Can you go back on some slides?
Yes, sir. What would you like to go to?
The slide where you keep going. Right there. I thought maybe you stole that picture on the right from my phone, because I have that picture on my phone.
Okay, I have. You told me that was copyrighted. Jess, you told me that was copyrighted.
That on a weekly basis from a few neighbors. So I like the fact that this new lighting is going to shoot downward, not like this here. But that picture there, and I've seen it too. I live on the far south side of town behind the Human Being Coffee up there on Amberjack. And those lights are on, and Councilmember Moses and I have talked about it. What kind of a system do we have to turn the lights on and off? Because those lights are on sometimes at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, I'm glad you asked that, Vice Mayor Diaz. I am prepared to answer that, and I want to thank Councilmember Moses for inspiring me to be prepared for this, because this is something that we have been working on for a long time. So we have the Musco. We improved, my past few budget years since I've been back, the remote automated lighting control on all of our park systems. So if you come into our office and reserve a field and you want the lights on from 8 to 9, that goes into the computer and we program them for you. Also, my staff out in the field and my on-call staff can dial up any park, any set of lights, and turn them on or off at any given time. So it gives us really good control. We had done an audit because we were trying to see, watching our power bill go up. We had done an audit. We were just trying to see what the usage was like and what was happening in activity throughout the community. There were times that they were busy, and there were times that the lights were on and there wasn't a soul there. There were times it was raining and the lights were on and things like that. So we have capability of doing really good with this new program.
That's good news to hear. Thank you very much.
Councilmember Dolan?
Yeah, I had a question. So, of course, I love this idea, but Sarah Park has 4 fields, and I noticed we're doing 2 of them. Are the other 2 lit? Are they the old lights?
They're the newer of the types that we have out there. So what we did, we made educated choices. All of the 5 fields that we're doing right now have Musco poles, Musco arms, so the direct retrofit. There is no extra work that goes into making this retrofit for these lights. It's going to be simpler and faster. The lower fields at Sarah Park 3 and 4 have the older style light, but it's newest of the group that we have. With all the lights hitting and on, they have a pretty good pattern. We get a lot of complaints about Rotary Park and fields 1 and 2 at Sarah. So we took the worst ones to target first. We have numbers for all of those. They could change because those bids are only good, but we are ready and loaded in the pipeline to answer the call for the next fields.
Do we know what it would cost to do those? Because I noticed we were looking at $125 for the adult field and $75 for the Little League field.
$224,000 per field for 3 and 4 at Sarah. So you're talking at $448,000
is more than the other
right now if nothing changes.
And we don't get as many complaints about. I'm sure people are just complaining about the lights, not those front lights, but the back lights don't bother me. So I mean, are we still gonna have issues with that, or?
With the new type lighting?
With 3 and 4 having the old type lighting.
Well, right now, as we went out, we go out and we count lights. If we have some out, we wait till we get to a certain amount, so it's value for us, the ones that we have to manage ourselves to get the big truck in the company. The last time we were out there, we replaced 18 lights. It made a big difference. The older technology doesn't stand up to the heat. It doesn't stand up to static electricity and things like that. So right now, I think we're going to get the complaints for that type of lighting. Not that it's dull and not playable, but you're going to get that light glare, that night pollution until they are changed. And they do have shielding on them.
I hate spending, but it seems like we're already there doing all of them, having them all the same, having them controlled remotely I guess it does bring up the question, and I guess in your opinion, is it worth doing now, or is it worth waiting till another round? Does it help?
The longer you wait, we're going to run into a couple of different factors. The prices are going to go up, and we're going to deal with the complaints. In my professional opinion, I think we need to prepare for this and present the best program for you so you can make the best educated guess and decision and support us where we want to move forward and get all these lights up to snuff.
I think, if I may, I think what he's saying is like, we want to spend the money and we want to make a difference for these residents. And are they still going to be upset because the lower ball fields are still the same old lights? And you know what I mean? Like, it would just be a shot in the foot if if we spend this money and David's still going to get the same pictures sent to his phone. And then send it to you and City Manager Knutson.
And that's very possible because that is the lower fields.
That's the lower fields.
And I guess I'm curious to see what the rest of council. I hate doing something halfway, like just especially if they're set on timers and remotely, and we're doing all that to have this whole park and to have we should have got to those two later, and next time they're 20-30% more. I mean, I would feel that I don't know if we have the contingency for it and we can make it work, but to me it would make sense to do them all at the same time if the fields are being used in the evenings and those are going to be on. And
well, and thank you. I do appreciate that. We worked very hard to get these numbers down to go as far as we could with what we had for what we had allocated just for last year. And we went farther than we thought we would because we worked with them and we kind of pressured them and they were willing to work with us. I think that's a great idea, but that decision is going to come from you.
When it comes to, Councilmember Dolan, what I hear you suggesting is that where do we stand on doing it? I would like to get all the lights done as well, but the budget, it's not budgeted for that. So if we have $1 million in contingency in our general fund, in our budget, we just spent $25,000 in a previous item of contingency funds. I'd have to get with Mr. Knutson and Ms. Olson to see what else we've spent on contingency this year. That's just on my memory of what we've done. And now we'd spend $448,000 if I understood you correctly. So that basically would leave roughly 500-ish thousand to get through 4 or 5 more months of our fiscal year, or 6 months of our fiscal year.
Well, we're halfway through.
Yeah, we're halfway through, and we would use half of it. And I also, from a procurement standpoint, I also don't know if that's allowable. So I would think if we could give direction and have city staff come back, if that's the case, but I think we might have to go through that process. But Mr. Knutson, if you want to maybe weigh in on what options we may have here.
Yeah, certainly, Mayor. Thank you for that, Mayor and Council. So if the Council so wishes to move forward on that, we don't have the dollars budgeted or allocated for this. And Mr. Reynolds does wonderful work in terms of the research and working with our budgets and what we have available, and is presenting a solid plan. But if Council wants to take the next step and finish off the remaining 2 fields at Sarah Park, that's not something we'd want to approve this evening. But we could, if we're getting nods and consensus and Council saying we need more than this, we can come either to the next or it wouldn't be the next, but it'd be the 2 meetings out at the earliest. We can come back and bring that before Council too, and then the work could start around the exact same time. I did text Jill. I think she's looked at her phone, or she's thinking in terms of what we have, what we have possibly in contingency funds. I don't. I appreciate Jill's coming behind you, Guy, and can remind me and the Council what we have left in contingency.
We spent approximately $225,000 to $250,000 in July for the additional Microsoft 365 upgrade for security purposes. So we've probably spent, to be safe, $275,000.
Yeah. So if that's something that Council would like for staff to pursue, please don't amend the motion tonight. We want to continue with the path here, but we can bring it back and add to the project if we want to use some contingency funds, and we're past 6 months, which is my threshold in terms of where I start to feel a little bit better about using contingency funds. But please, but don't amend it tonight. But give me some feedback, give staff feedback, please, and we can do that if that's the will of the Council.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Knutson. I could support fields. I mean, might as well get it done. Truly, the picture that Vice Mayor Diaz submitted from a resident, you're still going to see that. You'll see just maybe half of it because 2 of the fields will be done. But we'll start with you, Councilmember Moses, and make our way down the dais.
Yeah, I would support looking at it. If we can be, I would support looking at it in the next meeting, right? We need to look at our contingency fund, make sure we're not, doing anything too stupid, too out of the left field. But I think this. No pun. Thanks for getting me, Jenny. But I think we should look at this. I'm telling you, I would hate to spend this money and go, says, look, it's the exact same. It's still ruining their nights on their patio kind of deal. And not to mention just safety for the players. I actually need to get to some questions about what we're doing, but we can go down the road.
Consensus, then we'll come back to additional questions. Councilmember Koch?
Sure, I'm open to the conversation, but I mean, if nothing else, we're getting into budget season as well, so we can make sure and have it ready, available right away, if nothing else. But yeah, I'm open to the conversation.
Thank you. Councilmember Lynn?
Yes, I'm open to the conversation.
Vice Mayor Diaz?
Yes, open to the conversation.
And Councilmember Campbell?
Yes, I'm open to the conversation along with the data that could come back on how much money we were actually going to save in electricity by facilitating it at this level. And I would assume that if you're already in a contract with somebody, that would literally mean that it could be just a possible change order. Am I correct?
Well, the contract we have is for the maintenance on the automated switchgear programming system. The cooperative with Musco does expire in later of 27. So when we go forward with them now, it automatically renews though, but we still have to have that current if we go at a later date.
So who's installing these? You guys?
Musco, yeah.
Oh, they are. Okay. So we just
Turnkey
purchase
deal.
more. Okay. Thanks.
All right. So we have consensus on that item. Then Councilmember Moses, did you have questions regarding this item?
Yeah, thank you. So with Rotary Park, so we're putting in we're using the same poles, correct?
Yes.
Just updating the lights that are up top. Does Musco, do they have a designer or an light engineer of sorts that can tell us that these lights will be in the right place? And I've been shown this, and it's a problem of not only just the brightness of the lights, but where the lights are and all that good stuff, right? He had me go stand at the plate and threw a 70-mile-per-hour fastball and said, "Did you see it?" And I said, "No, I didn't."
I don't think that has anything to do with the light.
You see what I mean? And he was making the point. Thank you for all laughing at my expense. But he was making the point that this is a huge player safety issue. That when a 70-mile-per-hour fastball gets out of control, you can't see it if it's coming for your head. So those lights need to be in right places. And so we're changing the patterns of how the lights lay on the field. Has that been looked at? Again, I don't want to spend this money and they're going to be like, no, these kids are still in grave risk of getting hurt.
Yes, sir. I found the original Mylars with the lighting diagram. And I did forward them to Musco. The new lights come, they actually have their preset. They have increments on them. Some of them have little laser beams that go out. These things are set and they are very, very accurate. This is what they do. This is an American-made product. They are the best of the best, and they know what they're doing. And that's why I sent them the original information. I wanted this done correctly. They had the information on the two Fields 1 and 2 out at Sarah already, and we put that into the program as well.
Okay.
And if we have any issues in any areas, let's just say that we do get done and there may be a dark area. It's as simple as adding one more, and it's real simple to do, and that is part of the talks that we had with this program.
Okay. All right, thank you for that. And then back to the other part. We have these beautiful assets. We have these parks, and we don't want these lights to bug people that aren't using them. But at the same time, if people want to come use them, I want them to be able to use these millions of dollar assets that we're giving them. I've been contacted by many residents who are like, why are the lights off? I just tried to take my kids to the field. One of them's actually in the audience. Tried to take my kids to the field to play soccer, and the lights aren't on. I'm like, well, you're not part of the Lions Club. You're not part of this organization. You didn't reserve the field, so those lights don't go on. And so, and I love the fiscal responsibility. If it's not, I mean, I walk around the house all day long, turn off lights up for my kids, right? I'm there with you. But I'd like these people to be able to, on a whim, decide, hey, I'm going to go kick the ball around with my kids. I'd like them to be able to do that. We spent all this money And half the year it's hot, so you don't want to go out during the day. Like, I want them to be able to use these assets. And so I didn't hear in your explanation with the program of how those people who decide on a whim to go down to our Cypress Park or Rotary Park and be able to use those things, right? Not every park will be a good candidate for this, but I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it just because I love it. The twist knob of just being able to go to a place and set it for 45 minutes or whatever, you know what I mean? Just set it for whatever you want, but to be able to go turn it on. So, cause like I have your number and I can call you, but we're not handing out Guy Reynolds' phone number to the general public.
Thank you.
Bonnie will put it on Orcas and Onions for you if you like, but do you see what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
I really want to see a solution. If it's in this product somehow, I want to be able to see a solution for these people to be able to use these $1 million assets that we are giving them that they can't use when they want to and or should be able to.
And thank you, Councilman.
I'm going to get off my
Moses.
soapbox.
So you inspired me at the Parks and Rec Advisory Board, and I've done some research on this, and I have a couple of options. Number one, we can use our existing program right now. We can take select fields, say field number 1 at Rotary Park, and we can program it to come on at dusk and go off at 11. Any day, many days, 7 days a week, 2 days a week, with existing what we have right now. And then I went this next step further, and a standalone activation system for one field through Musco to get that product, where there would be a kiosk with a nightlight. You walk over to it, it tells you hit this button, it will energize this field for 1 hour. They can utilize the field. They want to go back, they can do it again. When it gets 11 o'clock, it could be 10 to 11, you do it, I go for 10 minutes, and then it's off. So this is a program that they have. It will work with our existing telemetry. I've put that in the motion, and unfortunately, I was not able to get numbers right now, but that system's there, and it would be great to put that, say, at the lower fields at Cypress and maybe field 1 at Rotary. So we will have a viable solution for that.
That sounds way better than my twist knob.
Well,
yeah, it was in the 80s and 90s. But thank you so much, Guy. I really appreciate all your work on this. I know you care, and I love your passion for it, and I love how excited you get for this. So thank you so much, and hopefully can get some support from colleagues on this as well.
Are there any other questions or comments for Mr. Reynolds before we open the public hearing? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the City Council on this item?
Yeah. Good evening, Kelly, Bonnie Toy, City Council. Looking at the pictures of those lights, made me curious as to whether or not the lights had any kind of way of being adjustable from the top.
For the ones we're looking to purchase.
Yes, that's what I'm wondering. If like the positioning of them can be mobile, changed or whatever. Like he suggested about having the twist knob to turn them on, but is there a way so that during different times, like they could be moved down, like even farther, like so that they're not as bright to the public?
Yeah, so the new lights, if it passes, that's already addressed. So each field is addressed where there's no light pollution coming off of the field based on the way that the light will be tilted and the number of bulbs within the LED rectangle that Mr. Reynolds showed in his presentation.
Yeah.
Like Cypress, it would be identical to Cypress.
Yes, but I'm just wondering if there could even be a more motion.
No more, because then you wouldn't have enough light. So the light engineers that do this for a living have determined the pitch of it and where the lights need to be to do field coverage.
Okay. And then when you're talking about the lights not being on or being off, aren't the parks open until a certain time, and why aren't the lights on up until that time?
right now, the lights are very expensive to run. So the current older technology is very expensive to run. So they're on when the fields are reserved or when we have league play on them. But I think what Councilmember Moses is saying is that if a family wants to go kick a ball at 9 o'clock on a Saturday evening, there's no scheduled organized play. They want to have the flexibility to turn the lights on, and that's the technology we're talking about.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Murray, I hope I don't get you in any trouble tonight by what I'm about to say. You did a great job. This is a great project. I think I brought this up 2 years ago, something like that, after attending a baseball game of a former friend of mine. His daughter was playing ball, and I couldn't believe it when I got down there. Saturday, I'll be 76. Happy birthday, Mr. Mayor. So I've been playing ball for a long time, okay? Not anymore. There's a lot of work that goes into doing lighting on a ball field. I did 2 of them in my career. And I don't know if you know it or not, but, at this level, there's one particular level of lighting. College level, there's another level of lighting. And when you get into pro baseball, there's an entire another level of lighting. The biggest thing with these lighting projects, and they've done a good job with this is a good organization. I've looked them up online. Guy's done a great job. It's all about the safety, right? If you're standing there on the infield and you get a line drive hit at you and you lose that ball, the next thing you do is you're visiting a dentist, okay? If you're in the outfield and you lose sight of the ball, the next thing you do is you get beamed off the head. The whole idea is the amount of foot candles, okay, that are out there. But these guys, run programs. There's foot candle programs that they run. They do it for a living, okay? And I think when you go down there, this is done. There's a lot of talk you can have about doing more fields or whatever the case may be. This is the right thing to do for these fields. We talked about that, again, a couple of years ago. This will be a good investment. Again, you don't want to be the person playing the outfield and all of a sudden you can't see the ball anymore until you get a boinker off the top of your head. And it's the same thing on the infield with a line drive. If you lose contact with that ball for whatever reason, get the glove up, you're gonna eat it. The energy savings on these is fantastic. LED technology has come a long way in the past 25 to 30 years. When it used to be metal halide or high pressure sodium or lighting systems of that nature. The LEDs work great. They give you a decent light. You do get a lot of light out of it. There's a tremendous amount of foot candles that comes out of a fixture. And yeah, there is some overspill. I mean, I did a lighting job around the building and I had it up for like 2 days and I got a call from the neighbors and I was in their backyard and the guy couldn't go to sleep because it was shining through his window. But they know how to adjust them. They know how to make it work. And I think when you go down there, and I'm going to be excited to see this when he gets it done, this is going to be a good investment. And Councilman Moses and I talked about this. I know I met Anthony in the grocery store the other day. He saw me and said, "Oh boy, I got to get away from Tim. He's probably going to ask me about where the lighting is." But this will be a great project. And he's done a good job. He's done a good job in what he needs to do here. And I think if you want to make it larger, expand the project, then that's up to you, but it's all about money. But this is a tremendous project that on top of it is going to have a return on investment. Think about that. Think about how many projects you do in town, and you're not going to get any money back on them because you have to do them. This one has an ROI on it. And that's the best type of project that you can do is where you spend your money and you get something back on it. Even if it's long term, at least you're getting something back. So as a citizen and as a former ball player, I support this 100%, and he did a great job on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Murray. Would anyone else like to address the City Council on this item?
Good evening, Council. I'm Taylor Harrison. I was not going to come up here, but since Councilmember Moses mentioned that somebody messaged him asking about ball fields not being lit up at night, that was me. I'm that guy. So I have a 10-year-old son, and he's in soccer. And we went to 3 different fields that night, and not a single one was on. So we resorted to playing soccer on our quiet streets, but it's not the same as playing on grass. So I'm a huge advocate for our kids and communities in this town. So a lot of the community is saying, "Hey, we need more activities for our kids." Well, what better way to invest in things that we already have to replace, parks that we already have? It's way less expensive to do something like this changing and upgrading our fields that we currently have than creating a new field. And obviously, like Tim alluded to, there's an ROI here. So anyway, since Cameron mentioned, somebody texted him, yeah, that was me. And I think this is a great project. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the city council on this item? All right, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing, bring it back to council for any additional discussion or possible motion.
Mayor?
Yeah, Councilmember Dolan?
Motion?
Please.
I promise not to amend it to add any new lights or put any twist knobs on there. So, but it would be nice, if we can get back some information on that. So, I move to approve the cooperative purchase of LED lighting improvements from Musco LLC in the amount of $672,000.
Second.
We have a motion from Councilmember Dolan, a second from Councilmember Campbell. Is there any additional discussion? Seeing none, we're ready to vote.
Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. All right, item 7.7 is a public hearing regarding annexation proposal of 3500 Highway 95 North, Mojave County Assessor Parcel Number 120-05-043. Good evening, Mr. Gilbert.
Thank you, and good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council, and the public. We're here tonight to receive public comment as the City Council considers annexing a single Mojave County-owned parcel, formerly the Sheriff's Department building at 3500 Highway 95 North, into the city to manage its future reuse and evaluates potential as an economic development opportunity. The initial steps as required by Arizona statute have already been completed, as noted in detail in the staff report. And this public hearing is a final step before we can move forward with notifying the county to begin the process that would be required to approve this annexation from their side. Following this, we would be able to acquire their signature on the annexation petition and move forward with the final steps in the process. The former, and I have the area map up right now, kind of show you where it's located. That's that small little blue highlighted area in the center. The former Mojave County Sheriff's Office property, totaling 1.13 acres, is located at 3500 Highway 95 North, just north of the Tractor Supply retail store, which is inside the city limits itself, but not this property. This part of Lake Havasu City, just outside the city limits, is shown as CMU commercial mixed use on the current general plan future land use map. And if it were to be annexed, there appears to be no need to alter this designation based upon its location on a major highway. The property is currently located in the county under their zoning scheme, but the logical zoning designation to apply if the property is ultimately annexed would be C2 General Commercial to match the existing zoning on the adjacent Tractor Supply Company property, which is that big red area in the middle of the map. The Sheriff's Department property is right here. I apologize, there's no arrow pointing to it on this map. This slide and the following slide show the property from up close, which would be this one, and further away to give a sense of the condition of the property and the surrounding uses. The property is located within the F-Core Water District zone of service and is served by a county-approved septic tank. Thank you, Mayor and Council. This is a required public hearing by Arizona state statute prior to consideration of any annexation to gather comment. Staff is looking for some consensus this evening in order to proceed with the final steps of this process.
Thank you, Mr. Gilbert. Are there questions for Mr. Gilbert, for members of the council?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay, Vice Mayor Diaz.
Mr. Gilbert, can you tell me the approximate acreage we're talking about here? How much land we're talking about?
This parcel is 1.13 acres.
Okay, and then just to clarify to the public, when we annex, we're just annexing the land. We're not buying the building. That's still going to be owned by the county if we do this. That's it.
Any other questions or comments? Yeah, so the benefits, obviously, to Lake Havasu City is if the county eventually disposes of this land through some sort of a public sale, The property then would be in Lake Havasu City proper. If a retail store was then located on that area, and as Mr. Gilbert suggested, next door at Tractor Supply, then we would be able to collect this 2% city sales tax to help offset the cost of services. It is a little hodgepodgey in this section of town with county parcels. Oftentimes, we hear from citizens that they have a Lake Havasu City address, but they live in the county and they don't realize some of these pockets. So this just brings continuity to what we're doing and has economic benefits to us at really no cost. So I certainly support the annexation efforts. Are there any additional questions or comments from members of the council before we open the public hearing? All right, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to address the city council on this item? Seeing none, we'll go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to council for any final comments or thoughts. We have a general consensus that we're comfortable annexing this property. It looks like by a shake of heads, it looks like it's a full consensus to continue on with the next process. Is there anything else you need from us, Mr. Gilbert?
No, that's everything, Mayor. Thank you, Council. We will take the next steps in the process that's outlined in the staff report.
Thank you very much. All right, item 8 is called to the public. This is an opportunity where citizens have to address the city council within the jurisdiction of Lake Havasu City. Their comments are limited to 3 minutes. There are light indicator boxes on the screens throughout the room. You don't have to sign up, and we did have one person sign up. We had Miss Sprott, but I think she already left and talked about a few of her comments during her remarks earlier. Would anyone like to address the city council call to the public? Just make your way to the podium and state your name for the record.
Toy. Good evening, council and mayor. I walked up to the meeting again. I actually really enjoy walking. City streets are really fun to walk on. The wash I was talking about last meeting is actually named Pima Wash. I don't know why I couldn't remember that at the moment, but probably because the meeting was 5.5 hours long. Anyway, while I was walking up here, I realized something, and actually I talked to somebody else about it the other day. And I've mentioned this before, I think twice before, the last 2 or 3 years, in regards to Winterfest and other events that happen on Main Street, and especially when they happen at night. Swanson Avenue and Mesquite Avenue on crossing Smoke Tree is very dangerous. There are no lights, and when pedestrians are trying to cross the crosswalks, the cars cannot see them, even though the cars have lights on them. There's still not enough lights there for always to be able to see pedestrians, especially when they're wearing black clothes in the middle of the night. Anyway, this weekend is Winterfest, and so I thought I would encourage you to please maybe find out if there's a way that the city could put lights for those intersections so that way people can be noticed when they're walking. I know that that whole area between Smoke Tree from Swanson to Mesquite is just dangerous for the pedestrians during that time because pedestrians have no respect for the drivers have no respect for the pedestrians, and the stop signs are really convoluted. Like, the lights are red, and then people think they have the right to go and don't care if there are pedestrians walking in the crosswalk. Also, I noticed something really funny. I don't know if I have enough time, but Go Lake Havasu website, Facebook page over the last 2 years has decreased their advertising, and especially for the city's post. Like this year, I only noticed one balloon festival post on Go Lake Havasu Facebook page. Last year, there was like 4, and in 2024, there was about 15 posts. I'd just like to let you be aware of that. Thanks.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the city council during a call to the public?
Tim Murray, I'm sorry. I just want to say something to all of you sitting up here, okay? when I come up here and talk, I talk as Tim Murray. I'm not forced to come up here by anybody and voice an opinion, okay? I'm fully accountable for my statements. I take that seriously. My entire career, nobody's told me what to say. I do what I think is right. I pay respect to people as I should, but none of my comments when I come up here are, hey, Tim, go up and say this. I take full responsibility for what I say. If I say something to you that offends you, then come and tell me. Don't go behind my back. I'm not afraid of going into a debate. We've had a couple of good debates. I enjoy coming here because you're willing to listen to what has to be said by everybody. And everybody has a different opinion, okay? But I just want to make sure that you understand from my perspective, as Tim Murray, as a taxpayer who's done this for a long, long time, it's my words. I'm not mouthing somebody else's comments. If they want to come up and talk to you all, they should. The Constitution of the United States allows it to happen. Freedom of speech is there. You are accountable for what you say, but I'm not a puppet to anybody. It's the way it should be. And if there's an issue, then you come and talk to my face, not behind my back. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the City Council during a call to the public? All right, seeing now, we'll close the call to the public. Moving on to item 9 is our current events. Are there any council committee reports? Councilmember Campbell?
Mayor, I just left the chamber. Well, not just, it was quite a few hours ago, the chamber. And I know it'll be up to 13 council members and 2 mayors running. And I did get a tentative date, which is very, very important, is their June 24th will be their candidates forum. That's tentatively, but I thought you guys should probably put it on their schedule. I don't know how many of you are in the audience. I see a couple, but I'm not sure. But it's a very important candidate forum that we all look forward to.
Thank you. Any other council committee reports? All right, item 10, our future meetings. Our next meeting is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m. It is a regular meeting. And then on Tuesday, February 24th, 2026 at 5:30 p.m., we will have a regular meeting as well. Item 11, are there any future discussion items?
Do we need to add the ball field lights, or we're going to get that on the agenda through your office? Thank you, Mayor.
Yes. All right, item 12, motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Be kind. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being here.